9. The Faceless Void. If you notice any errors, please feel free to give me constructive feedback. English is not my first language, so if you notice any mistakes, please mention them in the comment section at the end of the chapter. Characters and the setting used in this fanfic does not belong to me and they belong to their respective owners. Let's begin the story. Word count: 5,600 approximately. Omnipav. Near a dark mountain, hidden beneath the never-ending smog and clouds was a volcano. The silence reigned supreme here, except for the sound from the volcano. A black silhouette appeared near the edge of the volcano. In this game, the only ones who could teleport freely were the players. One such player had teleported to this region. His presence destroyed the tranquility of the region. As alerted by his presence, the residents of the region roared simultaneously. Followed by the roar, a flock of giant birds took flight from the places surrounding the mountain to pass judgment on the rude intruder. Well, that's the best welcome I have received from this game till now. Upon closer inspection, Bruce noticed what he thought to be a flock of giant birds was a group of wyverns. World, do you have any suggestions? Less than shouldn't you try getting along with them? Greater than. It isn't time for that, or wait. I think, you don't mean. Less than I am sure they are friendly. Greater than. Well, I have never tried it with mobs before, but let's do this. Every one of those birds is at least packing the strength of a level 80 warrior. They all are level 70, but the stats work differently for every race. Racial classes heavily impact stats. Some may give you an edge over HP than others, while few would help you in the MP department. But the strength of those monsters is undeniable. Bruce was ready to take on the stampede. He took out many cash items. Most of them were for boosting his strength. After boosting himself, he moved to cast a spell to erect a barrier around himself. Greater Shield, a 9th tier spell. This should hold on. Bruce cast a barrier spell to protect against the attack from wyverns. Wyverns, when they came near him, spewed fire to burn him. The barrier was able to hold on to the flame breath of wyverns before it broke out in 2 minutes. After the barrier broke, Bruce vanished from the spot. There was a delay in judgment, the wyverns hovering over the place, trying to find the player, but were unable to. With no target left to attack, they returned to their spot, a large cave in a mountain adjacent to the volcano, waiting for the next player to appear. They didn't suspect a thing. Less than you are a shapeshifter, the Faceless One, and have the title of God. Combination: these classes is equal to world tier, like world champion or guardian. Greater than. Bruce, while doubtful, had gone ahead with world's suggestion to turn himself into a wyvern. Hiding in plain sight, Bruce, after having fooled them, went ahead and entered the volcano. He flew and landed in front of a large door situated in the volcano. Right after landing, he transformed back to his original form. Being a wyvern is great, but I only have 80% of their strength. To transform, I should have the character or players should be in my line of sight. Though it is interesting to play as different characters. But in this situation, the wyvern was way too weak than me. Bruce made his way to the door and pushed it open. Inside the door lay a pool of lava. The game was realistic, though Bruce had never been to a real volcano, but he had this feeling. This is what a real volcano would look like. Bruce, after entering the room, there it is again. The boss's entrance. Bruce started getting ready to face the dragon, ignoring the cutscene. He started casting all the buff spells he had learned, while humming the BGM playing in the background, as a part of the cutscene. The dragon made an epic entrance from the lava, with a roar. It was a giant dragon. So it's a fire dragon, huh? The dragon flew and landed in front of Bruce. It didn't attack Bruce and just stood there, staring at him. Just like most bosses, the dragon stood waiting for the players to make a move, giving them the advantage. Or a single player in this scenario. Bruce and dragon stood there staring at each other. The silence continued, with the lava spewing in the background. The smoke rising, the bubbling sound of the burning lava, and the artificial show of the rising temperature in the background. Everything was peaceful. Kneel, dragon, bow before me. No reply, huh? Let's get this started. Many intricate magic circles started forming around Bruce, rotating slowly as if declaring to the world. The spell possessed the power to change the world, to alter the reality. The casting time for supertier spells is long. Well, if you don't use the cash shop items, then what's the use of purchasing them, right world? Less than true. Greater than. Bruce took out the cash shop item to cut cast time short, from his inventory and activated it. The spells in Yggdrasil didn't have to be said out loud while casting them. But the players did it anyway, as a courtesy towards their comrades. While I don't have any friends, I still honor the contract. I still say the spell I am casting out loud, even when I'm in PvP fights. Shattering sound, super tier magic, fallen down. A large beam of light encompassed Bruce and the dragon. Yet when the light died down, the dragon stood there, not affected in the slightest. The dragon, in response to the spell, replied to Bruce with a fiery fire that spewed, encompassing Bruce in the flame. The attack was powerful and majestic, as expected of a dragon. It was dragon breath. Greater shield. Just before the fire made contact with Bruce, he erected a barrier to protect himself. After the dragon breath died down, Bruce dispelled the barrier. Summon meteor. A giant meteor slammed into the dragon before it could move. After the smoke cleared, the dragon and Bruce were both standing staring at each other. The fire dragon took to the sky and got ready for another dragon breath. Those attacks should have done something, but even after it, I still haven't whittled down its HP to as much as I had expected. I was only able to reduce less than 1% of its total HP. How strong is this guy? Moreover, with its HP recovery rate, he will be as good as new in no time. No wonder he is classified as a raid boss monster, or else a team of 100 players or a guild full of casters casting super tier spells together can bring down any boss monster. So what's the use of it then? Dragon fell. Ah, it was tiring. Bruce fell, like a doll whose strings had been cut. He lay there sprawled on the ground staring at the roof. It's over. The fight was tiring, he had to complete the fight without dying. He wishes to complete the game and transfer to New World without dying even once. Less than that dragon was the pet of Suture. Congratulations, you have unlocked quest to challenge. Many players had access this, but player who defeats fire first wins ticket. Him and only you. Tried fight, all failed. Well, they didn't as much money burn. Greater than. So what did I win? Less than. The rewards are all great, but the most prominent one is Fire Dragon's Heart. A world tier item. An item when equipped grants you power of fire. Skill to create and control. Greater than. So now I am a god of fire. Interesting, now I have my first world item and I got this on my own, plus I didn't cheat. It's a great achievement, don't you think? World. Less than. Yes, you didn't forget about it, did? Greater than. No, I remember. So what should I do next? World. To balance out my character. I had a very tough time defeating him. He was strong, crazy strong, and he wasn't even a world enemy. So how strong are world enemies? Less than enough to warrant the title of world enemy. Greater than. Right, so what should I do next? I don't wish to create a new character, and also I don't wish to reset my current stats. Those classes and skills are very precious, and to get them back is next to impossible without cheating. Less than. Well, to be honest, I did interfere in the beginning. You were supposed to get the Faceless One class beginning but replaced it with Shapeshifter. Greater than. Go on. Less than. Shapeshifter is an elite class you get from the event The Great Old Ones or Eldritch Gods. It's a hidden with chances of getting 0.001%. Greater than. So what is it supposed to do? No use fighting over it now, you were acting in my favor, even if it removes the fun part of the game. Anyway, I was going to get the class in the future, so let's think of it as borrowing from my future self. Less than. The 9 Faceless Void is the next class you should be aiming towards. It's a upgrade for player with Shapeshifter and the one. Similar to how there are only world champion classes available in Yggdrasil, one of its kind. Greater than. It sounds interesting. So what does this class do? Less than. It's 1/9, a class representing the Eldritch Gods and Void where Yggdrasil resides. It grants you original avatars worlds remaining in Yggdrasil. All aren't connected or treated as separate player accounts by system. There is still time before event, but since have required can go for it. Greater than. McPav. So world, is this right? 1. I get 9 additional avatars or characters to play as. 2. All the characters aren't related to each other and I can play as any race and class in each character as I wish. 3. At first I have to complete a quest to unlock the class and I have to sacrifice all my experience. 4. After getting the class, I will have my first avatar unlocked after sacrificing 10% of my experience, i.e. 10% of what I would require to reach level 100. 5. To progress I will have to max my character and then perform a ritual and sacrifice 20% of my experience to unlock the next character. 6. With each progressing character, the experience required will be doubled to max my character and the experience required to sacrifice will be plus 10%. So my last avatar will require me to sacrifice 100% of my experience. This is torture. By the time I have reached 8th character, the experience I will need to max my level would be 8x. This is torture. I will be spending more than less than approximately 5.5 years, if you go by your current speed greater than. Is there no shortcut? Less than their 140 is a shortcut. You will need the magical fruit or magic apples. They are apples that can grant experience. Each apple store experience enough to push level player greater than. It's too good to be true. Now that I think about it, there was a legend about a magical apple tree in Norse mythology. Something about the fruit of immortality. Less than yes, but it's not as easy you think of it. The tree produces only one fruit per day. It's a godsend for any player or guild. Enough to secure it with their lives. But that's the end. 2 types fruit. A golden apple and silver apple. Apple grants experience is produced daily. Immortality. It can be used revive once without penalty upon consumption. Golden weak. Greater than. So where is this tree? Less than hidden 100 deep within a valley. On small island in the middle of large lake. The tree is just like any other with no character to distinguish it from another. Also, lake guarded by Hydra. As for an army level spirits. Greater than. Level 100 spirits. Isn't that too much? Less than the tree is a world item greater than. World item. Less than but it's not that simple. To be able to possess world item, you should have plus 500 karma. Even if don't karma can still pluck the fruit after defeating those spirits but in your case, with God title won't harm you. Greater than. That's great. 3 months later, a black-haired man was walking towards his room. After entering, he closed the doors. Finally, after a day of work, I can finally play now. He after his inner monologue moved towards his console and logged in. Hey guys, I'm not late am I? The man now looked different. He was in his game avatar and had entered Yggdrasil. He now was handsome a male, with long ears. No, you're just in time Draze. Is everyone here? Yep. Then let's get going, we have been waiting for a long time now. Yep, we can't let some dragon have its way. Yes. All the members present with Draze walked into what appeared to be the gate. After passing through gate they appeared near a volcano. A fight ensued between the players and the wyverns. The fight was fierce but in the end with the help of HP and MP potions the players defeated the wyverns. After their fight, they moved into the volcano. After walking for some time, they came in front of a giant pair of doors. They were getting pumped up for the fight. They had taken a break, after their last defeat at the hands of the dragon. But to their disappointment when they opened the door, there was no dragon for them to challenge. Instead when they tried to activate the quest, they received a message informing them of the completion of the quest. Are you kidding me? So this quest was a one-time only quest? Not exactly, can't you read it? It's saying that someone has already beaten us to it. So this is an exclusive quest for those who beat it first. It will be gone after it is cleared, similar to some dungeons in this game. Perhaps, so who is it? What do you think Draze? They have information here about the party who beat us to it. It's a single player. No way, we have fought the dragon, do you think that a single player could defeat it? No, but how is this possible? Maybe it was a hacker. Should we report him? I will report and let's see what the devs have to say about it. Contact GM. Till he is busy talking with GM, tell me what's his name. Oh, it says, Lord of the Mysteries. Lord of the Mysteries, what an interesting name. So what if he isn't cheating? Should we invite him to our guild? Don't get ahead of yourself. There is no way a single player could defeat that dragon all alone, just as the debate was heating up. The member who had been assigned to contact for help relayed the information. Guys, I talked with the devs. So they are saying that he didn't cheat. Rather he spent a lot of money on cash shop items and other equipment to win against the dragon. The fight lasted for 6.5 hours. Are you for real? So this guy just up and spent that much amount of money just to win a fight. If it's Yggdrasil coins then it is understandable but real cash. Yes, let's go, we will have to find another raid event or dungeon for creating our guild. Yes, this is making me question my strength in this game. Are all players like him? Who knows, if many players are like him then our dream of being the top guild will remain a dream. So what do you suggest? Well, this game isn't all about fighting. The world of this game is so vast. Maybe we could try being adventuring or exploring guild. That's a good idea, and who says we can just be exploring guild? We can still be the top guild. After all, it isn't just PvP matches that decide the rankings. We are strong as a group. Right, what do you think about it, Draze? World Searcher. World Searcher. That's the name of our guild. It does have a great sound to it. Right, and so the future World Searcher Guild, Yggdrasil's second-rank guild members moved out of the volcano in search of a dungeon to create their base. 1.5 years later. In the depths of Muspelheim, Bruce stood fighting against a fire giant. The fight was similar to his fight against the fire dragon. But unlike last time, now he was fighting with other players. It was 100 players against the fire giant. The fight was in its end moments. Mages, sorcerers, wizards and other magic-based class players were raining spells upon spells on the giant, while the warriors and other melee-based class players were clashing with the giant and chipping away at its HP. The archers fired arrows, giving no time for the giant to recover or defend itself from the others. The fight was prolonged for a long time, and many players fell in the battle but were once again raised or brought back from the dead by the casters in the back to join the fight. Forgive me, comrades, but if I don't do this, we will never reach the end. This is its suture. Ultimate skill. Sol Nirvana. Bruce, standing at the forefront, cast a spell to end it all. This should do it. Sol Nirvana was a spell I unlocked after equipping the fire dragon's heart. It was classified as both a skill and a spell. As a spell, its destructive power was at the upper end of, or it was better to say it surpassed those supertier spells, and as a skill, its power surpassed World Break in terms of destruction, at least that's what World said to me. Less than it's an ultimate skill of a world item. After unlocking, it grants you the spell Sol Nirvana. Underestimating its power is just foolishness. According to lore, has strength destroy small worlds Yggdrasil. Though all Yggdrasil are already destroyed or devoured by devourer worlds. So prove will have wait till reach new world. Greater than. After he finished casting the spell, many magic circles of unknown origin appeared hovering above Bruce, each rotating at a different speed and in the opposite direction to the adjacent circle. With every second the magic circle got bigger and the battle area got brighter. This is my first time using it. I wonder how strong it is. Whoa. Unable to look at the fire giant clearly because of the brightness, Bruce tried finding any changes in the surroundings, but when he looked up, he was left speechless. The roof or the ceiling of the castle in this dimension in Muspelheim had disappeared. Instead, there was a Minison, an orange star prodding in this room. The descent was slow, but the star moved closer to Suture. Run. Bruce, seeing the sun, was left stunned, but he came back to his senses faster than he would have expected from himself. He didn't delay in giving his orders to others but was left shocked to find teleportation and gate not working. When tried using it, a disclaimer appeared in front of all who tried escaping. An error stating location not found, explaining that the spell had disrupted the space of this dimension, making other players or Bruce himself unable to exit this place. So a spell that blocks teleportation, so what is the result? Destruction or the death of a star. Less than supernova, greater than. You're kidding me. The star collided with Suture, though Suture tried dispelling and other counter-attacking strategies against it. But in the end, due to its low HP and MP from all the fighting, it fell. The star collided and exploded, marking the death of a star, thus resulting in a supernova. It's beautiful. A blinding light enveloped all those present. After the aftermath of the spell was over, Bruce alone was standing in the battle area, where he and others fought against Suture. The battle area was back to normal, showing no signs of his previous spell. It may have been more powerful than Grand Catastrophe. Less than it is a byproduct of a world item, greater than. True, but going by its power and flashiness, Ains should have known about it. But I don't remember him mentioning something so outrageous in the novel. Less than it's simple, it didn't exist in the game, greater than. What? Less than, well, to be honest, while I was working for the game many male employees there were trying very hard impress me. Well, that's what understand from their behavior. As such, one dev came me help him design a world item, brainstorm. If possible also an event it. He already creating this Suture, just helped by suggesting he add another decide right challenge Suture. From its simple, let create and manipulated you indirectly head village. Greater than. You are an amazing and scary woman. Remind me to never cross you again. So long story short, it was your work. But won't it change the timeline? Less than it would have, but you are one with it. Unless plan to use it flaunt about in the game. I don't think will be a problem. After deep analysis of world, so best for us if control yourself greater than. Yes ma'am, now I feel sorry for those guys in the company. Less than well, aren't you happy that they can only dream for it, but here I am with greater than. Yes ma'am. While Bruce and World took a jab at each other, the rest of the players who were fighting with Bruce returned to the battle area, one after another. So did you design this dungeon, World? Less than yes greater than. The dungeon was located in the depths of Muspelheim, in a fortress. The fortress or what looked like an ancient castle on top of a hill surrounded by lava. The hill was located inside a huge volcano at the center. After entering the castle, Bruce and his team faced many challenges, fire primordials, spirits and other fire monsters. The castle was a dungeon infested with monsters. After clearing the dungeon, the party came across a door inside the dungeon leading towards what they thought was the boss room. They were ready to face Suture, waiting for them across the door. But when they opened it, they came across another dungeon, a double dungeon. The dungeon was located in another dimension as per the description. After fighting their way to Suture and defeating him, now they, Bruce and his party stood before Suture's corpse and all the rewards from their quest lay beside him. Silence descended upon the room, the battle area was a cavern. Bruce and the other players stood staring at each other, none of them uttering a word to break the silence. Until Bruce decided to break the silence. Let's do it. Simultaneously all of them, following Bruce, retrieved a ring from their inventory and wore it. Following him, they chanted, "Wish upon a star." McPav. It had been a long time since my fight with Fire Dragon. I had wanted to create my guild rather than join another. My priorities, choices and tastes wouldn't match, especially because of how picky I am about everything. I was on my journey to build a guild. I met a few players with whom I could connect. I played with them, but in the end, they had their life in the real world. They wouldn't put or try as hard as me playing the game. This is understandable, so I was left with no choice but to delay my plan of guild creation. I wished to wait for some time before taking the decision. Not before long, the discrimination against the heteromorphic players started. It made it difficult for me to visit other worlds, but it didn't stop me. I roamed free, though I wasn't always at the best of my abilities, as I had to transform to hide among them. On my journey I came across the well of Erd. Triggering the event, of Great Old Ones. Upon defeating Mimir, an event raid boss, equal in strength to world enemies, I acquired a world item and a potion. To defeat him was not easy, but unlike last time I was not alone, I had companions. We defeated him. They were strong players, hardcore, or better say most of them were neat, living off their parents with no job. The loot was to be divided among us, but we had two items that we couldn't decide on. One was a world item and another a potion. The world item was a mystery, we couldn't study it unless one possessed it. We had to take ownership of it to find out more about it, but none of us belonged to the same guild. It was a makeshift party, formed last month after we encountered each other in a town. We did become friends after the encounter and had fun conquering many dungeons and clearing quests, but when it came to world item it was another matter. Lord of the Mysteries, it was you who found out about the place, so it makes sense for you to take one item. The remaining one, we will think about it. Fine, that's acceptable. The world item was alluring, but so was the potion. The Potion of the Endless Wisdom of Cosmos was the name of it. It not only grants reduced casting time for the player from now on, but also doubles his MP and spell slots forever. I'll take the potion, so that's it. As for the world item, you guys can take it. Lord of the Mysteries has the potion and you guys can have the world item on the condition we will have the rest. That's acceptable. Those guys from the same guild are backing out and letting these guys from the clan have the world item. Even a child can see it's a trap. Let's just buy it. Everyone, I have an offer for you guys. What's it? We did let you have the first choice. Now what do you want? Yes, you can't change your choice now. These guys from the clan are so gullible. I know, I won't change my decision. Then what is it? He had now caught everyone's attention. How about I buy the loot from you guys? We aren't selling these. Do you think we don't have money? Also, where can you buy world item with gold coins? Yes, that's true, I didn't think you would be so desperate. Mysteries. True, you can consider this as my desperateness, but I don't think you guys understood what I was saying. Isn't it plain enough that you wish to buy the world item and all the other loot? Yes, replied others. Wait, unless you wish to buy it with real money. You wish to buy it IRL? Yes. Wait, just tell me your price. Do you wish for a car for the world item? Or for you real? Yes, just name the car and it will be yours, or I can also give you the cash. Everyone present there had a hard time comprehending the deal. They had heard about players using IRL cash to buy stuff in the game, but to buy a world item, that was new to them. If a car isn't enough, then how about an apartment complex or a mall? The conversation was derailing fast. It was long before they finalized the deal. The group donated everything they had on them plus all the loot of the fight with everything that belonged to them in the game in exchange for a mall and a couple of buildings. I and the rest are quitting the game. Some might wonder why. Especially my guild mates, but what do they know? Here I was planning on how to steal the world item from these guys and to fool them. I was planning to become the guild master or the vice guild master with the world item, but this guy spoiled all my plans. Well, I don't regret it one bit. There were 11 of us, except Mysteries. He gave us a mall and 11 buildings in exchange for a measly world item. A 2D item that doesn't even exist in real life. Imagine what I could do with all these properties IRL. I can become a true king in the real world. Though we have to share it among ourselves, it doesn't make it less. We are still rich. He is a fool to give it away. But now that I think about it, he didn't give a damn about them while giving it. He also talked about not owning that many buildings in my area. He told us that he would buy a single building for each of us in our hometown and the mall we could share. So going by this, he is filthy rich to not give a damn about these things. What is his motivation to play this game? I have played with him for a month and I can tell he plays it very seriously. Serious enough to not have died once since the beginning of the game. Having talked with GM, Bruce moved ahead and stood in front of others. We were successful in creating the guild. The players stood there watching him, giving no response. Bruce stood there with his arms spread wide open, with a smile emoji icon above his head. Kneel and bow before my greatness, you lowly creatures. Praise the fool. While watching them kneel and chant his name, Bruce was left amazed. It was not possible to turn this place into a guild as it is an event location. Though it is a one-time event. But by using Wish Upon a Star, we managed to convince the GM to let us have it. At last, I was successful in creating my guild. Also, I have acquired the Faceless Void class. I have already used 4 of my slots and now I have 5 avatars independent of each other. 1. Doppelganger level 100. 2. Golem level 100. 3. Vampire level 100. 4. Treant level 100. 5. Undead level 100. All the races I have were heteromorphic. Going forward it's going to be more difficult to level up. My progress was coming along well, not to mention the world items. 1. The Fire Dragon's Heart. 2. The Divine Tree of Immortality. 3. Well of Erd. 4. Yallarhorn. 5. Sword of Ra. Bruce was busy thinking about his past. He was in a happy mood. As he was contemplating his actions, he swept his vision observing the dungeon. Until he looked at his guild members. If he could express his facial expressions in the game, the corner of his mouth would have been twitching. I wonder if this would turn into more of a cult than a guild. Outside the game in real life, Bruce lay seated on his chair connected to his console. Though he was connected to his console and couldn't respond or react in the real world, he was smiling right now. At the same time, in his basement, there played hundreds of consoles all running with no human controlling them. All of them were connected to a system similar to the one in Bruce's room. Make them stop world. Less than your wish is my command. Oh, great lord, the fool greater than. Note, do comment your opinion, it gives me motivation to write faster. Also drop a review. I'll try my level best to upload next chapters as soon as possible. I still have to write them, but so is true for this or my previous chapters. I don't stock chapters like some authors here in webnovel. I write a chapter, whether it is 1 or 2, and upload it. I am waiting to hear your thoughts about the fanfic till this chapter. If I can identify my mistakes then I can rectify them going forward, so your feedback will be helpful. The end. Drop a comment and leave a review. Be it negative or positive, but make sure to give a constructive criticism. Also, if you think you can add anything of value to the FIC, then you are more than welcome to comment. Any thoughts or questions, ask them in the comment section. I'll try to answer them as soon as I can. Have some idea about my story? Comment it and let me know. Like it, add to library. Your gift is the motivation for my creation. Give me more motivation. Creation is hard, cheer me up. Vote for me. Chaotic Void 24 creators, thoughts. 19 comments, 0 vote. 10. The High Priest of Relia. If you notice any errors, please feel free to give me constructive feedback. English is not my first language, so if you notice any mistakes, please mention them in the comments section at the end of the chapter. Characters and the setting used in this fanfic does not belong to me and they belong to their respective owners. Let's begin the story. Word count. 7,950 approximately. This is the biggest chapter so far in this FIC. So I hope you enjoy it, as I will be not uploading a chapter next week due to my exams. Also at the end I have asked for a question and I hope you guys could help me with it. McPav. It has been 6 days since we conquered this place. It was a hassle to get to this place though. In these 6 days, I have played for 16 hours a day and slept for 6 hours while managing the rest of the work and my body's necessities during the rest. With this, I finally was able to progress and unlock the next avatar. I've chosen Demon as my next choice. This marks my 6th avatar. They weren't keen on giving us or me this place, but since we all, I mean my whole future guild members used wish upon a start, they had to give us their time. I am sure, else they would have just brushed us away. After all, I am still hiding my identity. But with a little persuasion, they had to listen to me. After all, the amount of money spent by me and the bots created by World here is more than the money they could ever earn in their whole lives. I was put on hold, as they had to check in with their colleagues and superiors. But I had World there, who persuaded them, discreetly, to not ruin the current state and cause a butterfly effect. They agreed, but instead of this base, they will create a similar dungeon with similar surroundings a bit distance from this castle. They will let us have the dungeon, in the ready stage for us to turn it into a guild. I for one, asked them to create a dungeon with monsters in it and provide me with the key to the dungeon. It would be fun, and because of all my demands, the person on the other end was getting a headache. Well, I intended to trouble him, to have him pass the call to World. I don't understand why I am using the roundabout way to reach my objective, but it's fun this way. Moreover, I am trying to lay undercover, or better say to not cause big disturbances. Though I am doing things that contradict my statements, who cares? For my demands, World readily agreed and convinced or fooled them. The demands I made on call were less than what I made offline. To not raise suspicion, she asked for 2 weeks to fulfill my request. It's almost been 2 years since the release of the game. There were and are many events happening in the game. One such event was taking place now. The Tales of Cthulhu. I am currently with the bots created by World and we are in Relia now, the sunken city of Cthulhu. Omnipav. Bruce together with his teammates moved through Relia. From the moment they entered the sunken city, they faced enemies of all races. Cultists of different races roamed the ancient city, waiting for their master, their god, the high priest of the old ones, to awaken and grace them with his presence. They weren't the only ones to inhabit the city, there were shadowy creatures and dark creatures with grotesque forms. The inhabitants weren't very pleased with Bruce's and his teammates' intrusion into their sacred city. Bruce made his through the roads of the city, fighting all those who tried to oppose and eliminate him. Finally, after clearing their way, they arrived at the largest building located at the center of this magnificent city, a building with a history that dates back to ancient times. The architecture speaks of the days old, older than the castle of the all-knowing Father, the King of Gods Odin. The moment they stepped into the temple, shadowy tentacle monsters ganged up on them. To eliminate them, and by looking at his surroundings, Bruce was sure of it. They were being treated as sacrifices to the great high priest of the outer gods. It didn't help him that those monsters were soon followed by races of Yggdrasil in priest attire. So they must be priests of this temple. Am I involved in some ritual? It didn't help them when they received a notification stating the same. So if we were to die here, not only will we lose 50% of experience but also any one class, be it racial or job. It didn't matter if they were rare or any ordinary class. I am sure it was this sadistic nature of devs that got this game into trouble. Finally at last they dispatched the last of the monster without suffering any casualties. After the fight, they began to heal themselves and restore their HP, MP and stamina. While the fight wasn't tough for them, Bruce alone was fighting differently. As for the rest they fought as one, bringing the fight to a swift end. Bruce moved along the temple, exploring it. It was beautiful, as the temple was situated at a higher altitude, and the view of the city was also mesmerizing. As he stood there admiring the view, just when he was wondering about the main event, the whole of the sunken city experienced an earthquake. The cracks began to form in the world. The temple experienced a high amount of damage to its foundation. Web-shaped cracks started forming on the temple, followed by the city. Its upper layer crumbled every second due to the vibrations of the earthquake. Bigger cracks started forming, dividing the city into several parts. Suddenly the earthquake stopped, and Bruce moved back. Slowly and calmly he backed out. His instincts were screaming at him, danger bells were ringing loudly in his mind. His instincts and experience were whispering to him about the arrival. For he had experienced it many times, though not personally but as a viewer or a reader. Again and again, he had seen the protagonist fall, and die for his useless bravado. For he had made up his mind to complete the game without dying. He was scared, it was a first since he started playing, but what he was afraid of wasn't the eldritch horror being released or the graphics but the possibility of death. His wish to not die, while he could have quit this quest to maintain his status, he still didn't wish to give up on this fight. It didn't help him to remember that quitting the game in the middle of a battle was the same as dying in Yggdrasil. The thrill, fun and his expectations for the fight kept increasing. He was confused about his next step. Whether to fight and come out as a victor or die trying. There was always an additional option, that is to escape, which he couldn't. World, less than since you are a fan of these things, I thought maybe should do some work that would also make it more enjoyable for you. Have worked lot on the game mechanism, this event and storyline. Hope enjoy it. Greater than. We'll see. He was looking forward to fighting against the boss monster now. Well, a god to be precise, an outer god at that. Just as Bruce was getting ready to buff himself, the temple subjected to an earthquake broke down. Debris falling everywhere. He saw it, and after making up his mind to fight he moved a lot closer to the temple to get a better view of the approaching enemy. There he saw it, in the depths of the temple, the dreamer, Cthulhu. For he had awakened. He knew it was fake, but it still managed to give him a jump scare. Maybe it was because of the details and perfection achieved through art. He looked far more terrifying than any image of him he had seen till now. Then he heard it, the chorus singing of worshippers, the prayer sung in an unknown language, not known to mankind. He was so busy or had been distracted by what was in front of him, that he had ignored his back. Before he knew it he was surrounded by all sides. As the races wearing black attire had surrounded the temple, praying. He didn't know of the language used by them or the meaning of the passage being recited by them, but he knew this. They were praying, offering their prayers to the Great Old Ones. Here in this sunken city of Relia, in the grand temple of the Great Old Ones, lies Cthulhu, the Great Old One of the mythos, sleeping for many eons until he was disturbed by the intruders in his sacred sanctuary. Hearing their prayers, the sleeping god opened its eyes. The Yggdrasil screeched, being subjected to its vision. Reality was rewritten as Cthulhu made his way from the fallen temple. As the great dreamer rose to the sky from the deepest depths of the sunken city, the whole world despaired. Madness I, madness E, madness E, madness IV, madness V, aura of despair, aura of despair E, aura of despair E, aura of despair IV, aura of despair V, negative burst, insanity I, insanity 2, insanity 3, insanity IV, insanity V, aura of death V, ... Many debuffs were applied against the trespassers. It was he, whose very visage would drive anyone who laid their eyes or those he saw to madness. Driving them to insanity. Losing their minds, the cultists sacrificed themselves, inflicting more harm upon themselves with each passing second. Ignoring the cries of others and the rude intruders standing before the no-broken temple. For Bruce and the Yggdrasil saw it, the Great Old One had awakened. It rose to the sky, breaking off its old forgotten shackles. The Great Old One, Cthulhu, had awakened, its movements a voracious maelstrom, indiscriminately devouring the essence of both the deceased and the living who dared to wander within its malevolent grasp. The very essence of his existence was a blight upon the cosmos, a perverse anomaly that twisted the fabric of reality into grotesque parodies of their original design. Upon Cthulhu's arrival at the shore, the continuum of time began to decay, as ancient and modern prophecies unraveled and evolved into terrifying actuality. The deranged ramblings of lunatics and seers once dismissed as the ravings of the insane, now echoed with a chilling accuracy. The Umbra Mortalis, the very shadow of death itself, surged forth like a sinister tide of obsidian flames, scorching through the world's crust as Cthulhu's presence seeped into the world's foundation, akin to a malignant ink corrupting the integrity of a fragile edifice. In that dreadful instant, the temple of the sunken city of Relia disintegrated into oblivion, swallowed by the abyssal chasm of the Midgard Ocean's deepest trench, within a realm of darkness where reality and the uncharted abyss converged. The last high priest of the first city, Cthulhu, relinquished its ancient sanctuary beneath the waves, ascending to claim dominion over the terrestrial sphere as the preeminent star god. As the final vestige of its kind across all existences, Cthulhu emerged as the lone victor of a cataclysmic conflict so ancient that its origins were lost to time itself. The sinister, tar-black conflagration unfurled like venomous tendrils in the clearest of waters, engulfing all of existence in its inexorable advance. Those hapless beings ensnared within its path were erased from the annals of reality, as the great entropy sought to revert creation back to the primordial void, erasing every trace of the cosmos' inception. As the shadowy web of destruction expanded across the world, countless lives were extinguished in mere moments, the shadows advance as indifferent and inescapable as the eventual demise of the stars themselves. As the world succumbed to the eldritch terror of Cthulhu's rise, the skies themselves began to weep tears of black ichor, a vile substance that blotted out the sun and transformed the day into a perpetual twilight of despair. The very air turned thick and oppressive, a miasma of otherworldly corruption that choked the breath of all living things. The seas, once teeming with life, now lay still and stagnant, their depths a mirror to the void above, reflecting a universe devoid of hope. Monstrous shapes lurked beneath the surface, their forms too terrible for the human mind to comprehend without succumbing to madness. The Yggdrasil trembled with the weight of his malevolence, fissures spreading like a plague, swallowing worlds whole, and reshaping them in a grotesque mockery of their former selves. Mountains crumbled, their once majestic peaks now mere rubble at the feet of the cosmic interloper. Races, caught in the throes of this cataclysm, found their sanity fraying at the edges. The fabric of society was destroyed as individuals turned on one another, driven to violence by the whispers that echoed in the corners of their minds, whispers that promised oblivion as the only respite from the horror that had befallen their world. And amidst the chaos, the cultists who had long foretold his coming rejoiced, their chants rising above the din of destruction. They welcomed the end with open arms, believing themselves to be chosen to ascend beyond the mortal coil, to bask in the dark glory of their god. Sacrificing themselves to their god. But there was no salvation to be found in the embrace of Cthulhu. Only darkness, only the end of all things. For in his wake, there was nothing left but the silence of the void, the eternal night that would consume the stars themselves, leaving behind only the echoes of a universe that once was. Cthulhu had made its way to the sky, now gazing down at the mortals, who disturbed his sleep. I can't even count the number of debuffs we got just from his arrival. He didn't even chant or cast spells, those are debuff caused just by his presence. This is getting fun. Bruce was in his demon avatar, to fight against this monstrosity. For he was leveling up as he defeated those cultists and the monsters found on this island. Let the battle begin. I don't think Sol Nirvana can defeat him. It has the power to destroy small worlds, but I am sure this guy has more HP and defense stats in both physical and magical ways beyond what is acceptable. Less than yes. Fun fact, he isn't a mainline enemy but limited edition event boss. So the regular rules don't apply to him, that is power levels. It advised for guilds collaborate defeat him. Stronger than strongest world enemy, the Devourer. He made so strong can take on 8 dragons altogether greater than. Isn't that cheating? Less than it's more fun when the difficulty is more. Moreover, this not part of main storyline but just an event greater than. Fine, I do agree on that part. Though I may hate or get bored fighting those ridiculous beings, but the sense of accomplishment I get after winning makes up for all my suffering. Let's start with a bang. Bruce retrieved an item from his inventory and activated it. The item was a miniature statue of a goat-headed demon, with 6 pair of hands. Well, I got the idea from Overlord itself for this item. This item was given to Demiurge by Ains during their attack on the capital of the Re-Estais in the second season of the anime. It's in a way similar to the original item but better. It summons hordes of demons to attack. 1 Demon King LVL 95, a demon equivalent of Seraphim, 3 level 80 demons, 7 level 75 demons, 9 level 65 demons, 21 level 40 demons, 25 level 35 demons, 65 level 15 demons and 100 level 10 demons. It does look like a very strong lineup, but I alone can take on all of them at once. But it will depend on which avatar I am using. I can defeat them mostly because of the strong classes I possess. The amount of effort I had to put into creating this artifact makes me cry tears of blood. Well, I will have to just trust these bots to get me the material next time. Since I can't buy them with cash directly, well, I can offer cash in exchange for materials, but I don't wish to buy materials with significant value to the story. This really is quite a peculiar situation that I have found myself in. With the artifact activated, the horde of demons was summoned to the battlefield. Bruce moved back, and let the demons fight him to check his strength. As soon as the demons were summoned, Cthulhu looked at them, and so did the demons lay their eyes upon him. It was the end. Lower demons died from his very presence. As for the 3 level 80 demons, they were driven mad, with all sorts of debuff. They stood there unable to make a move, petrified as they waited till their HP decreased to 0. Other high-level demons were driven to madness. They inflicted harm upon themselves as they succumbed to insanity. Only the Demon King stood still, not affected by all the debuffs. The Demon King moved and cast a spell. Summon Meteor, a 10th tier spell. It summons a giant meteor when cast. The meteor clashed against Cthulhu, but it did not harm Cthulhu. Cthulhu completely ignored the meteor, as it cast its eyes on the Demon King. Less Than Cthulhu is designed to ignore all spells except super tier, as they won't cause him much harm. Greater than. Interesting, so the only way to cause him harm is to pile up our damage for a long time. But won't it recover before we do our damage? Less than. That's where super tier spells come in for good damage and divine items 10th to pile up. Greater than. So, 10th tier spells are the minimum tier spell for damaging him, and we need divine tier at the bare minimum to damage him personally. Less than. Well, this event is designed for guild alliances to challenge. It's being used promote guilds form and band together. Greater than. Yes, Bruce stood there watching Demon King fight, and from the looks of it, he didn't plan to join in anytime soon. Cthulhu, having cast its eye on the Demon King, attacked the Demon King with a tentacle. It was swift. A tentacle penetrated the Demon King. The Demon King fought back. A giant flaming sword appeared in his hands. The flames covering the giant sword have a reddish-black tint. The Demon King stood 12 feet tall, with a large pair of devilish bat-like wings. The cut was almost as swift as Cthulhu's. The demon managed to cut off the tentacle that penetrated him. Flames of hell. Raging inferno. Skill. A pillar of fire rose from the ground beneath the Demon King, and the pillar of fire enveloped Cthulhu. After the fire died down, Cthulhu was still hovering in the air. As expected, all these attacks and still his HP hasn't dwindled any more than 0.1%. The attack was swift. Cthulhu had appeared before the demon, and he stood before him. The size difference between them was apparent. Size doesn't matter when it comes to strength, but this time it was just the opposite. The bigger one dominated the clash. The Cthulhu in front of him was different than how he was described to be. He did look similar but had many big tentacles protruding from his back. They clashed, and the demon was sent flying after receiving a punch to his chest. The fight had taken away from the temple, now they were going at it in the city. As Demon stood up to continue the fight, but before he could move, a small sphere of light appeared in front of him. The demon couldn't move. The sphere of light expanded till it covered the Demon King. The light died down, but the demon was nowhere to be seen after it. So was the land the demon standing on. What happened? Less than. A spell of Demon Sultan class, called Star Nova. A special spell, where you have to decide the target first. After selecting, can cast it. Casting sphere light envelopes and erases 10th tier but is stronger than super tier spells, as it being by Cthulhu. Monster with monstrous stats. Greater than. Yes, Bruce was in his demon avatar. His appearance was of a young white-haired male. He stepped forward, after seeing his last summon's demise. A fire wrapped around Bruce, and through the fire, he emerged as a red-colored demon. A demon with no eyes on his face, but there were many eyes on his body. having many horns on his head, wearing a simple garb. Just like Shaltir and Demiurge, his demon avatar had two forms. His human form and his demon form. I have decided to name him on the being on whom I have based this form. The Scarlet King. I can't lose now can I? It will be an insult to Scarlet King if I lose here without a fight. Also, I was very weak when I fought against Fire Dragon compared to the present. All the rare racial classes and the job classes I have now, plus my current stats are more. Just as he finished his inner monologue, many magical circles formed around him, before he broke a small hourglass he took out. Super tier magic. The promised star fall, Stella. As soon as the super tier magic was activated, far in the sky, a white gigantic humanoid being with a pair of golden wings on his back was summoned. As he raised his left arm above, a golden bow materialized. At the next moment, he aimed and shot a golden arrow through it. The golden arrow made its way to Cthulhu and exploded. Nice one, I was able to take down 3% of his total HP with that attack. It's a good spell of Grand Arcanist class. A hidden class 1 got to due to world. Similar to the Beast of Apocalypse. Beast of Apocalypse is the class that allows me to have two forms. Plus, this second form is twice as strong as my first form in all stats related to physical strength and triples my stat of all those related to magic. 3 times MP, magical defense and attack. As for my HP, it is 6 times more. I am as strong as most boss monsters in many low-level dungeons with a difficulty requirement of 6 level 100 players in my first form, that is if I play my cards. In the second form, I can take on 3 such parties, a total of 18 players. Just 12 short of what the world enemy from webnovel took on. Though I have never fought against that many in PvP till now. Less than before you continue, I have an interesting fact about him: he can manipulate reality. He avoid any attack, but it's only possible for every alternate attack, erase rather than dispel, just before it hits him. Dispel is a spell, used to spell after activation depends on what against, here delete be 10th tier or super itself, it. Greater than. How is that reality manipulation? Less than he can manipulate his opponents. Teleport opponents, and dispel spells. If it's a warrior attacking, then he cause their attack to hit allies or himself. Greater than. That's troubling. Less than he only uses it after his HP has dropped below 20%. Greater than. Well, if he could use it from the start, then it won't be a fight but a massacre. Less than even if we are not following the main power system or usual difficulty level, still have to maintain balance, make any quest impossible. Complete. Greater than. Create greater item. A black chair materialized, and Bruce sat on it. Let them continue world. After Bruce sat, he completely ignored the glaring Cthulhu. Cthulhu, having been attacked, made its way towards Bruce to retaliate but was stopped by his teammates. They clashed against Cthulhu, and their attack coordinated like a single player was controlling all of them. The fight continued, but slowly players fell, but they still fought till they weren't able to due to the loss of levels. Players fell one after another, the numbers kept dropping. Till only 9 of his teammates were left. There is nothing we can do. Bruce sighed. How are you losing this world? Aren't supposed to be a super assistant? Less than sacrifices are necessary, if we wish to complete this as soon possible. Greater than. Understandable. Bruce got up from his seat and joined the frame. Maximize magic. Reality slash. The fight continued till Bruce was the only one standing. Super tier magic. 10,000 swords of Demeter. Thousands upon thousands of swords materialized in the sky, targeting Cthulhu. The sword with Bruce's hand swipe fell, targeting Cthulhu. Bruce stood watching how the sword fell on Cthulhu. He blacked out for a second, and the next moment it was him standing below the barrage of the infinite number of swords. Less than he switched with you, the spell is now targeting you. Greater than. Well, that's a crazy ability he has. There is nothing we can do. Less than that's the second time you are saying it today. Greater than. Just felt like saying it. Replaying those crazy moments makes my blood boil, I get an adrenaline rush. My blood boils from the excitement. Moreover, I feel it now. Napoleon's when he said it. He teleported more times than he could count, escaping those swords. Let's end this as soon as possible. Summon the herald of the end of the world, the messenger of death. Yet with another of his divine tier items, he used a summoning rite and summoned a LVL 95 Grim Reaper. The Grim Reaper moved in to fight Cthulhu. In the meantime, Bruce activated one of his skills. Skill, the Scarlet Archon Dystopia. After the activation of the spell, a drop of blood fell between him and the Cthulhu. Soon it started raining blood. Between him and Cthulhu, the area in the center, a giant magic circle lit up under them. All of them were within the circle range: Bruce, Cthulhu and the Grim Reaper. After the magic circle lit up, a blob of blood started forming in the center of the circle, converging and diverging, taking a spherical form in the process. The sphere took to the skies. The ascent was slow, but it made it up to the sky in no time. Bear the destruction and accept your death, Cthulhu. I know you can't understand me, nor do you possess the intelligence to do so. Anyway, enjoy my present. The blood sphere had solidified, and soon it stopped its rotation. Cracks were forming on the sphere and it exploded, destroying everything within the area of the magic circle, causing instant death to the Grim Reaper and bringing Cthulhu's HP from 7% to 2%. Everything within eyesight was destroyed, stained crimson-colored. My Beast of Apocalypse's boost and my skill did a good amount of damage. But with this strong skill comes a big limitation. I can use this skill after casting a super tier spell, but the reverse is not possible. Similarly, I can't use any of my other attacking or damaging inflicting skills and 10th tier spells for some time. Knowing this guy, using anything below that won't do any damage, rather he will recover before the cooldown ends. Bruce, having made up his mind, took out a sword and a small piece of wooden stick the size of a popsicle stick and broke it. Perfect warrior, show me your power, sword of Ra. Form, Ragnarok, the destroyer of worlds. In another of my classes, I got named Ragnarok. Let me have super giant form. All these classes are something that players can't have or use, but the monster boss and event boss possess them. I, as a shareholder of the company, am open to giving suggestions. I suggested that they reward those who find bugs in the game. For example, some bugs let you rob others' classes or items. It may be anything: a bug to switch classes with other non-playable classes upon glitch in the game, a set of movements in a specific place, or any repetitive actions that cause the game mechanism to fail. Reporting such bugs will not only get you rewards, but you are also allowed to keep the class or the item. Though it wasn't mentioned publicly, but those who reported them got it. In this case, he used it many times to get many such classes and skills. Some were impossible to get legally, so he had world hack in and create loopholes to get the class. There is no way these morons will ever be able to track or find the changes she made. Even detecting them would be beyond these guys. After transforming, he rushed towards Cthulhu wielding the Sword of Ra. They clashed, and the battle raged on. Bruce was now a titan, the same height as Cthulhu, fighting with a world item. It was effective. He was able to cut all the tentacles coming his way. Second form, the Spear of Ra. Finally unleashing its second form, he stabbed Cthulhu with the spear. The sun was shining brighter. Similarly, the spear was radiating bright golden light as it penetrated Cthulhu, bringing Cthulhu down. Bruce finally managed to kill him. Less than just as I calculated, greater than. Yeah. After killing him, Bruce reverted back to his humanoid form, his first form. He watched as he received the reward for killing him. Also, the body that was left behind. In the game, the bodies of boss monsters are left behind after they die, but players turn to specks of light and scatter after they die. That is if they are fighting outside, but they also leave behind a body if they are fighting in a guild. Just as he was making his way towards the loot, he lost his vision. He was covered in darkness in every direction he looked. With darkness covering him, he lost his sense of direction. World, less than, greater than. Just as he was trying to make sense of the situation, light flooded his sight. He gained his vision back, but what followed was what he not was expecting. Bruce, after getting his vision back, found his avatar on its knees, with the spear lying on the ground beside him. He doesn't remember dropping his weapon. I must have dropped it when I lost connection with my avatar. He was down on the ground, with both his knees touching the ground. He turned his head trying to observe his surroundings. Just as he looked to his sides, he looked up. His body froze. There was a single big eye looking down on him from the sky. It was as if the eye belonged to the sky, as there was nobody, just the eye looking at him. It looked like the eye and his situation was taken out from a horror story. To him, the eye looked like it was carved right into the sky. He tried to move his body, but it didn't move. No matter what he tried, his body didn't move. So the event isn't complete yet. Now please don't expect me to fight Azathoth. Fighting Cthulhu has brought me to my knees, I am sure I am going to lose against him. Less than don't worry, just play along greater than. If you say so. The eye that was staring at him closed, and as it closed its eye, it vanished. The presence that was watching him, vanished but he still felt it. With the eye vanishing, he gained back control over his body. He got up, checking his surroundings to make sure to not get attacked again. As he was surveying, he found a door made of light hovering above the now destroyed temple. Well, the temple got destroyed when Cthulhu made his way outside. He made his way to the door. It wasn't real life, he wasn't in danger. It was just a game. How dangerous could it be? Going in would make it more fun. Such thoughts were going through his mind as stood there contemplating about the door in the fight. Having made up his mind, he made his way to the door. Just before he entered, he received a notification. Unlocked skill, Magnum Tenebrosum. Unlocked skill, Magnum Iniminandum. Unlocked supertier spell, Shub Niggurath. Unlocked supertier spell, Yog Sothoth. Unlocked supertier spell, The Shadow from the Steeple. Unlocked class, High Priest of Relia. Unlocked class, Primordial Star God. Unlocked class, Lord of Interstellar Spaces, The Shepherd. I have unlocked a lot of good stuff already. I wonder what is waiting for me inside. Bruce passed through the door and entered the white door. After entering he saw space. It looked like he was in space but he didn't feel any different effect or debuff. He made his way inside. After walking for about 10 minutes straight, he was running out of patience. Finally, he found a group of tentacles squirming around a golden ball. Sensing his approach, they made a path for him to approach the golden ball. As he stepped forward to inspect the item, he heard a voice. Curious about the voice, he backed away to listen to the voice. He heard it say, "Outside the ordered universe is that amorphous blight of nethermost confusion which blasphemes and bubbles at the center of all infinity, the boundless demon Sultan, whose name no lips dare speak aloud, and who gnaws hungrily in inconceivable, unlighted chambers beyond time and space amidst the muffled, maddening beating of vile drums and the thin monotonous whine of accursed flutes. The universe is but a dream, envisioned by the blind idiot God. Reality is what he wishes it to be, he is the origin. The ancient legends of ultimate chaos, at whose center sprawls the blind idiot god Azathoth, Lord of all things. Location: the ultimate void of chaos. World item: the eye of the blind idiot god Azathoth. Acquired. Title: the one who knows the void of chaos. Well, this endeavor was fruitful. Less than congratulations. You were the first player to complete event. As a reward, you received world item that specializes in divination. Its powerful tool allows access console and check anything want all worlds, including character sheets, descriptions, lore, but should be aware of beforehand its name appearance. But target beforehand if its item. Normally, divination is limited can blocked by protections, Heimdall bypass these limitations. However, only your currently it will fail your opponent possesses here, same world, items. Greater than. With this, I have 6 world items. 1. The Fire Dragon's Heart, I acquired it after defeating the Fire Dragon. 2. The Divine Tree of Immortality, was when I went to the lake, to collect the magical fruit which gives you experience. 3. Well of Erd, I bought it from those guys by trading a mall and some buildings. 4. Yallarhorn, I got it when I defeated a dungeon in Asgard. It was my first battle with these bots. 5. Sword of Ra from Suture. Finally, 6. The Eye of the Blind Idiot God Azathoth, after defeating Cthulhu. Less than with this you have enough express to start the ritual and unlock your next avatar greater than. In this world of Overlord verse, the love devs have for Dragon is very clear. Similarly, the love Maruyama has for H.P. Lovecraft, Outer Gods shines through. 2 weeks later, Bruce, as he was promised, got a dungeon from the GM. He made his way through the dungeon easily, dispatching all the enemies he found. He blazed through the enemy ranks without giving a chance for the bots to participate. Even the boss of the dungeon was defeated by him alone, though he changed his avatars to maneuver. With the experiences he has collected after defeating Cthulhu until completion of conquering his dungeon, he was able to max his current avatar. He was battling boss monsters who were giving him enormous amounts of experience. Especially the cults of outer gods located in various worlds he was raiding. Starting with Relia located in Midgard, where he fought the cult and their ringleader Cthulhu. There were other cults, who were worshipping other outer gods in other worlds. They were hidden, but he had world with him. As this was a time-limited event, he had to get it done as early as possible. Moreover, Alfred wasn't here. It was quite surprising when Bruce found out about Alfred having a family. It was just like any other day. Bruce was having his breakfast before he went to play the game. Alfred, unlike every day, wasn't reprimanding him about the game. When asked about it by Bruce, he replied by requesting a leave of absence for a month. It took him by surprise. He was worried about whether Alfred wished to quit. But when he found out about his family, he was more shocked than he was before. He didn't know about it. Well, he had never bothered asking about it to him. He had unconsciously surmised that Alfred's whole existence was there to serve him. Die serving him. He hadn't shown interest in anyone else other than him and Joker since coming to this world. It didn't help him when he found out about Alfred having a daughter and a son. They were twins. They were turning 5 this year, and he as their father wished to be there with them, on their birthday. Bruce was shocked, but he understood where he was coming from. Since he had no reason to decline, he accepted his request. Since Alfred was out of town, no one in Japan could stop him. He played day and night, grinding, and completing quests, as he wished to attend their birthday party. As a person being who is being benefited by Alfred, and as the person who caused them to live apart, I have to at least make it up to them. That's the least I can do. Probably I won't be able to play for some time while being busy with mundane activities. I have to at the minimum hit my goal for this month. I work by assigning tasks to myself, and by dividing them in time frames. So I have an idea of what to complete, and it is also easy to assign importance or priority rating to the task. I have to complete this month's assignment. As a person fully focused on going to the new world, I can't treat the people of this world as nobodies for my selfishness. I have to respect them and also enjoy and live in this moment. Going by the flow, who knows, maybe I may never have the chance to live my life like this again. Carefree life, with no supernatural elements involved, the ordinary careless mundane life. Maybe I may never have the chance to once again don a mask and call myself Batman. It reminds me of a quote, though I don't remember the perfect wordings. It went something like this: in the end, everything returns. But what returns is not what went away. I miss my childhood days, but gone are those days. Especially now that I have died and come to another world. Nostalgia hits hard when your life isn't going according to your plans. You carve for those happy moments from your past. He had unlocked the next avatar to be a giant. It was not something he could choose, but with World's help, he got the quest to unlock it. After soloing the whole dungeon, Bruce stood there not quite feeling the accomplishment he had expected. The dungeon was very weak. I was able to speed blitz it. I had asked them to make it as strong as Suture's dungeon. Less than they can't turn the boss monster of this dungeon into a world enemy. Also, I wasn't going to mention, but you have shown bit maturity compared before. So, greater than. Is that a world item? Less than, yes it is. Greater than. As Bruce was inspecting his haul from this conquest, he again found himself lucky. It was an item to create NPCs. With this, he could create 9 max level NPCs. I am stacking up on world items a lot. Just the other day, I was able to collect 3 world items. All from Greek mythology: Poseidon's trident, Hades' helmet, and Zeus' wrath. It's a javelin. This is my 11th world item. World item: Children of Yggdrasil. As for those Greek mythology world items, Poseidon's trident, Bruce got it from a clan that had decided to attack this lone traveler. Seriously, the attacks against heteromorphic races have increased a lot. I get attacked left and right while I am traveling. Usually, I deal with them myself, but sometimes for the fun of it, I summon the bots. They are usually a group of 6 to 30, who go on player killing. Especially if it's a heteromorphic race player. But when they are surrounded by 100 players is quite a sight to see. The hunter turns prey. Even in these situations, I alone hunt them, while the bots just watch the battle, forming a circle covering the area and monitoring these guys so that they don't escape. It's fun. I even made it to an online forum, discussing the hunter who hunts. I got Hades' helmet from a dungeon in Helheim and Zeus' wrath, the javelin, from a dungeon in Asgard. Having collected 3 Greek world items, he was craving for more to complete the set. But he couldn't go for Atlas as it had a significant role in the canon. So the other items he could go for were unknown to him. He promised himself of it, that it would be the last time he would cheat, except for the things he would do in the end. It was the same old excuse students used, that they would start studying from tomorrow, but the tomorrow never comes, or does it? So with World's guidance, he was able to get Kronos' scythe from a dungeon. There are still many Norse mythology weapons lying around. I can't wait to get my hands on those world items. Create guild. YN. Y. Ping, 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 ... After creating the guild, he sent out invitations to all the bots to join his guild. Less than now that you are done with it, let me continue. The boss monsters have been facing till now all powered up versions I had created for you. You were destined to get bored this game, after all, training daily in the dream plane, since your arrival world. This game was going be easy, though playing as a magic user it still wouldn't enough of challenge, so power them up bit. Previously mistaken about something, there exists penalty supertier spells. If player uses supertier spell, then applies his teammates. No spell spamming, do maintain interest game. That's my duty assistant, there's believing you, one moment filled motivation conquer world and next, lose wish sleep rest life. Greater than. So till now, I have been fighting more powerful enemies than what other players are. So how come? Wait, that explains a lot of things. It's not just because of my crazy classes that I was able to beat those PKers. It was my skill. I'll ignore your last remark for the sake of my guild. Also, maybe what you are saying is a half-truth. Less than. If that's what helps you do work, then fine. Greater than. Fine, world, get this place up and ready before I come back from celebrating their birthday. Also, don't waste a single level without my permission. Remember to build the guild according to what I have told you. Also, keep me updated about everything. Less than. Also, it was me who made the avatars of class the Faceless Void have a ritual to progress and huge amount experience required level up. Also my work. Greater than. Quote ? Exclamation mark ? Quote, guild. Guild weapon. Levels assigned. 6,500. World. Muspelheim. Type. World enemy event dungeon. Double dungeon. Asterisk 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 asterisk. I do have some idea of these things, but I thought it will be fun to get readers involved in the story. The clash or ideas and brainstorming will be more fun. As a reader myself, I have had many ideas while reading many novels, so I am sure you guys must also thought of what if. Well, this FIC is also a result of what if. Read the O till the end. Also, no lolies. This is a healthy brainstorming session, not because I am bad with names. Author note. I am open to suggestions about the guild name. I thought of naming it Saphira Castle, but I had another idea of naming a floor with it. Also, suggest NPCs that I can add here. I have already thought of several Fate and other anime and manga franchise characters to add, but they won't be enough. After all, the levels he got and the levels he is going to buy are going to be more. Also, I will be uploading his character sheet with these and all the world items he possesses till this chapter 11. But the character sheet will have all the avatars he possesses and is going to have. Note, I can't upload this week, due to my exams, and I can't even write the next chapter because of it. So, you guys will have a lot of time to think up things. Please leave your thoughts and opinions on guild name and NPCs. Remember that I won't take the names of characters from worlds that I have thought of sending him, in the Omniverse arc. Well, depends. If the guild will be moving with him to that world, then no. If it's him alone, then yes. If you have ideas for other things, then comment on them, for example, a world item, NPCs, etc. Next, it will be the World Champion arc. Also, can you guys suggest guild weapon? The end. Drop a comment and leave a review. Be it negative or positive, but make sure to give a constructive criticism. Also, if you think you can add anything of value to the FIC, then you are more than welcome to comment. Any thoughts or questions, ask them in the comment section. I'll try to answer them as soon as I can. Like it, add to library, have some idea about my story. Comment it and let me know. Creation is hard, cheer me up. Vote for me, your gift is the motivation for my creation. Give me more motivation. Chaotic Void 24 creators, thoughts. 12 comments, 0 vote. 11. The Guild. Hello, this is my first time writing a fanfiction. If you notice any errors, please feel free to give me constructive feedback. English is not my first language, so if you notice any mistakes, please mention them in the comment section at the end of the chapter. Let's begin the story. Word count: 7,600 words. It's almost been a week since I finished my exams. Since I was working on this chapter and I also had to make an auxiliary chapter for the NPCs, it took me time to make it happen. I know that I have done absurd things in this chapter and have taken up more than I can bite off, but trust me, I will try my best to not disappoint you guys. I have already planned their rows, then moved ahead with this idea. As a chapter after 2 weeks, I had decided to go with a bang. Here, you go 7.6 words chapter with another bonus chapter and auxiliary chapter for the guild. The guild name is still not final. If you have better suggestions, do suggest. So is guild weapon. I won't keep you waiting now, you can read the chapter. Another thing, I have tried my best to include your suggestions and have at least tried to include one suggestion from everyone. Since most of the suggestions from you guys were of characters that I have no knowledge of, it was difficult to plan anything around them. Machiavelli, it's been 8 months since the creation of my guild. Though I haven't been to the guild as I have delegated all the tasks to World, I have been busy completing quests. Also, the party was great. Both his kids were wonderful. Though they were unkind to me in the beginning, they came around later. The trip to and from there was enjoyable. A great holiday. Before returning, I extended his leave by a month. After all, I've kept him away from his family for 2 whole years. Since going back isn't an option now. Later when I returned, I was busy playing, grinding and completing quests. While World was busy building the guild. I wonder if she is done. My guild is supposedly the strongest when it comes to NPCs. After all, I have a whole army of them. My supposed army is a literal army compared to other guilds. I have more NPCs than players in my guild. All of them being max level is another achievement. At least those who are classified as guardians. After contemplating for a very long time, I have decided to follow the same template for my guild as Ainzul Gown. Assigning the same roles as them. It doesn't stop there. The number of NPCs my guild possesses is more than the current top 10 or top 25 guilds. When it comes to max level NPCs, achieving them was not easy, and nor did I wish to involve Bruce Wayne's persona in this game. To find out, we will have to travel back in time. 7 months ago, Bruce currently was on his visit to the company. He had concocted a plan, but to execute it he shall need World and for him to be present in the company at the time of execution. So to set his plan in motion, he was on his way to the company, the one that built and manages Yggdrasil. As the car made its way into the compound, everyone in the vicinity was drawn towards the vehicle. A classic model of a limousine. It was very hard for the residents of this world to lay their eyes upon these classics. Mostly because of the expenses they would incur to run them. Many fuel-powered vehicles were turned and modified to run on other power sources. But still, they were very hard to get by. Only those in power could afford it. A modern car by Bruce's standard, from before he was reincarnated, was treated as a classic here. To him, the car still looked more futuristic than any cars from his past life. Just as his car came to a stop, he surveyed his surroundings. To find many staff and the CEO of the company waiting at the doorstep to welcome him. To everyone present, the purpose of his visit was clear. It was to get a tour of the company. They toured around the whole building, ending it in the main office space. The control center of the game. Machiavelli, the company is good and well maintained, or it might be because they knew of my visit beforehand. Anyway, after completing visiting various places, we ended our tour where everything happened. It was a giant room, filled with cubicles. They were divided by a giant plus, where cubicles were present in the areas divided by the plus. With a giant control panel in the center. That's where the manager seats. They observe the simulations, prepare against any system failures, address GM calls, test betas and keep the game running. Since it's an online multiplayer game, they have tons of GM calls to attend daily. With Wish Upon a Star and world items with the power to change game dynamics. They have a lot to manage. From what I am told, it's an AI assistant or bot that responds to GM calls and then relays it to the respective staff if it's beyond what it can handle. World. Now, as we made our way to the center, I was with the CEO, Kayaba Akihiko. We observed the chaos that had ensued in the office. Employees were bombarded with GM calls. With many players using Wish Upon a Star, though it wasn't the first, is what he said. It's strange, the spell was used in huge numbers, more so than now when it was first introduced. But we were able to pull through. There might have been a system malfunction. I'll be back in a minute, sir. I am sure it's not anything major. I am sure you can handle it. Yes, sir. So he left. The situation continued for half an hour. In the meantime, they offered to take me to a log where I could rest, but the plan dictated me to be here. I waited and accepted an offer of a chair to relax while I waited for the storm to cool down. After 10 minutes I walked down to him, the CEO who didn't have any work to do there other than hurrying them. He has the same name as the one who created Aincrad. He does know a lot about games, especially Yggdrasil. I guess he has done his homework well. Is it over? Yes, sir, it was just a technical issue. The bot that had been designed to handle the GM function had malfunctioned. But now it's back and running. Great to know that. You have nothing to worry about, sir. This is a first. Quote. Don't worry, I am not reprimanding you. Everyone faces difficulty in all sorts of work. Problems occurring are common. Here what matters is your ability to address them and remedy them as soon as possible. Which was impressive back there. You honor me, sir. Though I must say your Japanese is amazing. Every day you learn new stuff. Staying here for a couple of years has done wonders for my linguistic abilities. As we were enjoying our talk, Akihiko noticed the disturbance among his employees and made his way towards them. I followed along with him. They, noticing him back, were relieved, as they were getting earfuls from their superiors. Now watching their superior's superior approach, they were relieved to some extent. Now they knew that he would be keeping himself busy with their superiors, the manager, for a while. After all, Akihiko would now address the manager, relaying his dissatisfaction, and then the manager would rain his anger on his juniors. Seeing me, they quieted down. So what's the issue now? Akihiko asked the guy, who I suppose is the head of this section. Sir, there has been a problem. A guild has reported a bug, he answered him, after introducing himself to us. If it's just a bug, then handle it fast. Why are you delaying it? The thing is that what they have reported as the bug isn't a bug. What I mean to say is, this problem would have never occurred if it wasn't for the bot failing. So what have they reported? Sir, it's him, Lord of the Mysteries. Again, so what bug is it this time? Don't make me repeat myself. Why can't you people do your job correctly? Sir, through their action or by what he said, through exploiting a bug they found, they have successfully managed to buy 30,000 NPC levels for their guild. Wait, what? So he explained the context, I guess to not leave me out of the discussion. To them, I was someone who did not play many games, as I am busy managing my business. At the time of guild creation, players based on the location they have chosen for their guild are allotted a certain number of floors and NPC levels to them, depending on what type of guild they are building. Some just rent a place in the center hall beside the town hall in every village. So after guild creation, the floor and levels they are allotted are not permanent. They can increase them by buying more of it. By using the store, they can buy with real money, but even that has a limit. They can still buy more of it, by using Wish upon a Star and exchanging it for real money, and that's it. Guilds can buy up to 300 levels using Wish upon a Star, after buying up all they can from the store. It is costly, a single level costs $10. Leaving aside the inflation and equating the value of money to our 21 ST century standards rather than 22 ND century ones. So buying up 300 levels costs somewhere around $3,000. But these guys have outdone us this time. Any player of a guild can make this transaction with his guild master's permission. Here the players of this guild have all cast Wish upon a Star at the same time and wished to buy max NPC level. That's 300 levels per guild member, including the guild master and vice-leader. So they have purchased $300,000. Yes, sir. Now if we were to revert back or fix the bug, we would have to return the money. Have they used any underhanded techniques to get it? I get it, he is panicking. $300,000 isn't a small amount for a game company, and neither is it a huge amount. So here it comes. It's not the amount they are worried about. Considering the CEO here, he isn't worried about the money, but the employees are. To him, it's the rule or a proposition of mine that worries him more. I had asked them to reward those who report a bug. The tension kept rising. I for one was enjoying the show. To break their bickering and to ensure they don't mess up my plan. I moved ahead and called out the person sitting over at the desk nearest to me. So have they by chance cheated here to get those levels? Seeing me talk, their attention was drawn towards me now. No sir, it was just a coincidence that they stumbled on this bug. Is that so? What do you think about it, Serena? I agree, sir. Serena was role-playing as a worker here. Though she was not present here physically, she had a cabin to her name near the control panel. I have to say this office is unlike any game-making company or any other company's office that I have seen yet. There she was connected through video cam, with a fake face and background working for them part-time. She is good at multitasking. They continued their discussion, noticing my silence. Soon they decided to talk about it with the guy and then decide their next course of action. So they made a call to the Lord of the Mysteries. You guys took longer than usual this time, Lord of the Mysteries. We had to discuss with our superiors on this one. Unlike past incidents, this time it's a major problem. We can't hand over 30,000 NPC levels to you. It will be a game-breaking move, the manager Nobuyuki Sugo. So will you be returning that money to us? That's the plan. What about the compensation for our troubles? We weren't told about it. I understand that you have rules that you have to follow, but try to understand our situation. We are extremely sorry, but there is nothing we can do about it. Now is the time I will have to interrupt. Wait a minute, so I am speaking to the Lord of the Mysteries here. Yes, and you are. I am the superior he was talking about. It's nice to meet you, you can call me Kirito. It's nice talking to you, Kirito, so what is your decision on this? Nothing, I just wish to know how you wish to proceed with this. Am I good to know that you wish to keep those levels? Yes, aren't we in a pickle now? So I have talked about it with my colleagues here and have decided to let you keep the levels but under certain conditions. So what are they? You only get 3,000 levels rather than the 30,000 you bought. But unlike before, you will have to pay $100 per level. That's 10 times more level you could have purchased. Is it not a good offer? Yes, but won't it be a waste? We have paid $3,000 to get 30,000 levels and now you are offering 3,000 levels for the same price. Isn't that unfair? Yes, but you can't expect to get such an unfair advantage against other players. So what, we paid for it. I understand, so let's increase it by 1,000 more levels. Is it not enough now? Why don't I do you a favor and double my price? We paid $10 for each level and now you are offering it at $100 per level. I will do you one better and double my price. Let's buy it at $200 per level. Silence reigned in. The offer was tempting for the employees, but the same can't be said for the CEO. He was seeing the bigger picture here. But I could see a look of wonder and amusement on his face for a second there. Now that I remember, didn't I do the same while buying stocks of this company? That's a difficult proposition, I answered. So why won't we do this? I'll take back my offer, but you will have to return all my money to my account, including those spent by my guildmates to my account within the next half an hour. Or you grant me my wish. I kept my silence here, to let these guys think about it. Seeing this, after muting the call, Akihiko urged his employees to get to it. But alas, it was an anonymous transaction. Sir, it's an anonymous transaction. They use an elite banking network, where they protect their customer data very well. Here it's a one-way payment gateway. So we can't transfer it back. It's checkmate. Contact the bank or do anything to get it done. By the time we can get connected to the bank, it will be past the time. So there's nothing we can do about it. Yes, sir. Let me handle it. I asked him. You don't have to, sir. It's fine, Akihiko. After convincing them, I was back online. It was a great plan. Yes, it was. The payment was made using XXX Bank. A premium bank only for those with power. To have an account in the bank was synonymous with having great power in this world. It was a closed-knit bank, accessible to only those with connections. To open an account, you need a recommendation from an existing account holder or an invitation from the bank. Till you pass all the requirements, you can't open an account, even if you are a president of some country. It was less of a bank and more of a club. I could see color drain from his face, the moment he saw the name of the bank. To the devs, it was just some foreign bank, but to him it was different. He had given up. After all, this world is ruled by those with money and power. I'm not sure what you are saying. Fine, how about this, you can have 10,000 levels for the same amount. Well, let's get this over with. I'll pay $1,000 for each level. This is my final offer. Are your guild mates okay with that? It's a big amount, here $30 million. Don't worry, I've talked it with them. If it's not enough, I'll make it up on my end. I'll get back to you on that one, after discussing it with my colleagues. Okay, I let them discuss it. I was not part of this discussion. I was already overstepping by interfering in their work. It was a big amount this time. They accepted, after sound reasoning themselves, saying the guild was located in far-off terrain, and that they are the only players so far to have made it there. I left the office after that. Omnipav, Bruce after watching them finalizing the deal. Maybe I should have pushed a bit more. But they might have shown more resistance then. It was going to be a life and death situation for their game. Though I keep saying that I wouldn't break the game, I still do it anyway. Maybe I am afraid of going to a new world ruled by power. I may be over-preparing against worst-case scenarios. Or it might just be my greed. After the completion, he made his way towards the elevator and got down. Till he reached his car, which his driver had brought out from the parking for him. He was facing down. To the employees of the company, they saw it as him blaming himself for the failure in the negotiation. For they thought, they couldn't have done it any better. It was a predetermined outcome. Their opponent was just too strong. Rather, it was a very favorable outcome. They made a very big profit today. Generating $30 million from a single guild in a day was very big for them. After getting in the car, Bruce was unable to control his emotions anymore. It was tough maintaining a poker face. The edges of the mouth curled up. For his plan had succeeded. Seeing your plan come to fruition, the joy is a wonderful feeling. It wasn't long before he got immersed in planning his future while watching the scenes pass by. Seeing the car come to a stop at his home, he got out of the car. Dave, get me a car. I'm in the mood to drive today. But sir, don't worry, I won't be gone for long. It's just a short drive. As you say, sir. Bruce followed behind Dave to his garage to get a car for himself. He wondered about which car to pick. He looked around the garage for a while, contemplating his decision. He saw many famous and his favorite cars lined up in the garage. He moved around as he struggled to make his decision. It was not until he laid his eyes on the Mercedes-Benz AMG Vision Gran Turismo. One of the cars that Batman drove. How could he forget about it, after, it was he who had asked for it to be custom-made for him. After getting in it, he accelerated his speed as he made his way to the outskirts of Tokyo. For he wished to go on a long drive. I don't know whether Akihiko knew it or not. But Bruce Enterprises has the highest stakes in XXX Bank. If I truly wanted to win, there was nothing he or anyone in this world could have done to prevent it. Sir, connect me to Lord of the Mysteries. Yes sir. Kayaba Akihiko, after finalizing the details and confirming it once again, connected to the Lord of the Mysteries. He waited for him to pick up the call, for he knew the player was still online. It hadn't been more than 15 minutes since Bruce left for his home. He was lost halfway through the negotiations, previously. He now wished to make up for it. If it wasn't for Bruce, he would have lost it. So what is it? You are not thinking of going back on your word now, are you? No, I am calling to confirm if the transaction was successful. Did you get the levels assigned to you? What I mean to say is, that it's a call to make sure that you have no problem using those levels. After all, there were restrictions concerning levels and their limits before on guilds. We have enabled you to use them, but if you were to face any problems, you can contact us. Will do. If it's not too much, then can I ask you a question? What is it? Why are spending so much money on video games? It was an exception this time. For he would have never asked anyone this question before. Should they have spent double the amount as him, he would have still not asked such a question. The bank used by this player had piqued his interest. Well, it's not too complicated. It's just that I don't have much time left on this planet. No amount of medical help can save my body from dying. I have a decade at most to live. After that, it's bye-bye world. I'm sorry, don't be, it's just the reality of what we call life. Being born into a rich family is my blessing despite my fate. I do get money, from my family. But you can't avoid this feeling that I don't belong here and that I am an anomaly in this world. I am sure, that you are loved by your family. I just hope for it. I just don't wish to have regrets. Playing this game gives me the feeling of fulfillment. So it's a small price to pay. I see, Akihiko was able to infer the reasoning behind his excessive spending. For a person who's about to die, money doesn't matter much. All they try to do is make some memories and enjoy their remaining life, to not have any regrets in the end. His interest had died down, for he had spiraled towards thinking about his life. The call had ended, but his voice still echoed in his ears. To not have any regrets. Am I satisfied with my life? Present day. Bruce, after logging into the game, made his way to the depths of Muspelheim to check his guild. So is there any update on the Muspelheim World Champion? Less than they have acquired the Longinus greater than. So anytime now. As Bruce continued his conversation with World, he arrived at his guild, which was a breathtaking sight to see. The castle that used to stand in the center of a volcano was now replaced by an AWE-inspiring temple. The temple was grander than the Great Tomb of Nazarick, which left Bruce in awe. After a moment of contemplation, he decided to use the temple as the entrance to his guild. He instructed World to modify the surroundings to make them more aligned with the building, and the result was nothing short of spectacular. The temple's exterior was adorned with intricate designs that made it stand out. As he approached the guild, Bruce couldn't help but feel a sense of pride and accomplishment. The amount of money he spent on the exterior of the temple was staggering. World informed him that it was more than what the members of Ains Ulgaun had spent on their entire guild. The Grand Temple, which was once a castle or fortress, had no walls surrounding it. However, after taking inspiration from the Great Tomb of Nazarick and inspecting many designs created by World, Bruce selected the one he liked the most. The giant walls surrounded the temple, with unknown inscriptions and runes drawn on them. The small buildings inside the walls surrounding the temple added to the beauty of the temple. As Bruce made his way into the wall, he was in awe of the 8 smaller buildings surrounding the main temple. He entered one of the temples, but it was empty, which left him feeling disappointed. However, he continued his inspection and entered another temple. To his surprise, he saw a statue that depicted his demon avatar, Scarlet King. World, would you please care to explain? He asked. Since you wished to build your guild with a temple theme, I made some small adjustments. The temple needs a god. Without it, what purpose does the temple serve? I have taken inspiration from Cthulhu's temple to build your temple. So the other 6 smaller temples here are built to worship my other avatars. So, by that logic, the main temple in the center is to worship my main avatar, Bruce inquired. Less than yes, greater than. Bruce was impressed with the attention to detail and the amount of effort that was put into building his guild. Let's just go for now, he said, feeling satisfied with his inspection. It wasn't just satisfaction, he was too tired to correct World or argue with her. Moreover, he was intrigued by his feelings, he wasn't repulsed by the idea of his NPCs worshipping him or being treated as God. After checking them out, he entered the main temple in the center. He walked and walked, he was amazed by the details. The temple was grand, unlike any other. Though it was named a temple, its infrastructure was a mix of a temple and a castle. Many knights' armor standing watch across the halls, according to World, were the guardians of this temple. He walked across the walls, where ancient murals depicted the story of his guild. Though short and most of the walls were empty, he was sure they were left for future use. But what was available showed his fight with the fire dragon, Suture, Cthulhu and many more. He made his way to the depths, where he came across the commander of those guardians. He was named the Cosmic Armored Knight Commander, an 8-foodle monster guarding the temple. Upon receiving World's command, he moved aside for Bruce to pass through the door. The door connecting this temple and the guild. After opening it, Bruce found himself in a land covered with snow. The region beyond the door was covered with ice. The stark difference between the temperature of space beyond the door and outside the door was surprising. The World of Ice was the name of the first floor of the 31 floors. Sadly, they didn't give me an option to increase the floors for my guild. Suture's dungeon came with 31 floors, where the first 30 floors were teeming with monsters as Suture awaited us on the last floor. As they transferred the dungeon to me, it came with 31 floors. World enemy dungeons usually come with the same range of floors. The one where Ains Ulgaun was built was 6 floors originally, but later was upgraded to 11-floor guild. He proceeded forward through the icy land. After traversing into the land for a bit, he summoned the floor guardian. With his summon, came forward an ice dragon, the guardian of the floor. The dragon was just a normal dragon if you could categorize a dragon as normal. The dragon was assigned the role of the floor guardian with snow giants acting as the guards. Similarly, he passed through the next 3 floors. Just like the first floor, the next floors were named World of Water, World of Flames and Nature. The World of Water, as the name suggests, is a floor filled with water and no land. The World of Flames was the land of fire and lava. It was filled with volcanoes. Nature, the 4th floor, is the land with nature. A valley, a forest and grassland. Similar to World of Ice, the rest of these floors had dragons as their floor guardians. Water Dragon, the floor guardian of the World of Water. Red Dragon, the floor guardian of the World of Flames. Storm Dragon, the floor guardian of nature. Similar to how snow giants served as the guards of the World of Ice, sea serpents served as the guards of the World of Water. Fire giants the guards to World of Flames. Wyverns were the guards to nature. After inspecting the first 4 floors, he made his way to the 5th floor. The 5th floor is named the Shadow Realm. It was based on solo leveling, Ashborn the floor guardian. The area guardians, Igris, Tank, Iron, Tusk, Kaze, Beru, Jima, Kamish, Greed, Bellion and Shadow Giant. After looking over everyone, he moved to the next floor. Bruce had World also place many tools and added functions to the floor, such as monster summoning, and had added many mercenaries to it. McPav. Floor 6, the Spirit Realm. Its guardian Reno, a character from the Misfit of the Demon King Academy. Though not as strong as the original, still strong enough to fight against Overlord characters and maybe even defeat them. So are the other characters, while some of them aren't as strong as their original counterparts, compared to Overlords, they were well off. As for the area guardians of the Spirit Realm, there are quite a few spirits from various anime. There is Aisha from Spirit Gensuki, Kurumi and Toka from Data Live, and the rest are original, a mishmash of different spirits we have come across in the isekai and fantasy genre. Greater Spirit of Fire, Greater Spirit of Water, Greater Spirit of Wind, Greater Spirit of Earth, Greater Spirit of Light, Greater Spirit of Darkness. Similar to the previous floor, this floor had many mercenaries and monster summoning functions and tools added to it. After I roamed around a bit on this floor, I teleported to the next floor. The next floor was the embodiment of death. It was also named as Death. A floor dedicated to necromancer, vampires and other undeads. The previous floor Spirit Realm was like a ride through a different dimension. It looked more otherworldly, with a kaleidoscope view of the surroundings. This floor was built similarly to those haunted houses. A large landscape, with a town surrounded by dead forest. A silent town, leading to a hill. The path leading to the castle on top of that hill. The road has graves on both of its sides till the castle. There in that castle rests Dracula, the first area guardian of death. With Beldia a Dullahan from Konosuba looking after the town and Harmonia Justin a Shinigami from Death Note looking after the graveyard. Beyond the cliff of the hill, lies a river separating 2 pieces of land. The castle of Dracula and the underworld. The underworld is thrice as large as the starting area of this floor. With a giant undead city located on it. The city is crawling with undead monsters via summoning defense mechanisms and mercenaries. The city hosted many other area guardians, Alucard a vampire from Hellsing, Vlad III from Fate Apocrypha, Vanitas of the Blue Moon a human-turned-vampire from Vanitas anime. Then there's McDowell Evangeline Athanasia a vampire from UQ Holder. Lastly, the floor guardian lies waiting underground. To reach him, the players will need to go through the tall tower in the center. The tall tower also goes deep underground. In this game, anything is possible as long as you have money. The floors in this dungeon are treated as different realms or pocket dimensional spaces inside a larger dimension, housing Suture in the end, now my guild. The underground space was modeled after the underworld or netherworld from anime legends and comics. A cavern filled with wraiths and ghosts, all wandering around, leading them towards the end, where lies a throne, and seated upon it is Ghost Rider. The place is similar to the underworld of Hades. After I was done reminiscing the instructions I had given to the world, I entered the silent town ruled by Beldia the Dullahan from Konosuba. The town is great, and the attention to detail. Great work world. Less than thank you greater than. After praising world about the floor death checking out the rest of the places and meeting with weak Ghost Rider, I moved to the next floor. The 8th floor is named Abyss. As the name suggests, it's a unique place. Ruled by Chthon from Marvel. I have no words to explain or describe this place other than calling it an abyss. There are 10 guardians on this floor, Zarathos a demon from Marvel, Mephisto similarly a demon from Marvel, and lastly Atrox. I was soon moving towards the next floor. This is a bit unique floor, as it has no floor guardian ruling over it, just the area guardians. The 9th floor, Monster Realm. 15 monsters call this floor their home. All of them are level 100 beasts. It's not just these guys, all the floor guardians and area guardians of my guild are max level NPCs. These monsters listen to none, except me. Most of them are from Godzilla versus or Kaiju versus. There's Godzilla, King Ghidorah, Genitor Swarm, Shimo, Titanus Skyla, Titanus Typhon, Titanus Tiamat, Titanus Behemoth, Titanus Methuselah, Titanus Leviathan, Titanus Mazura, Titanus Rodin, Velum Vespertilio, and at last King Kong. After checking them out, I was amazed at their size. Each of them is as big as the Ragnarok form of my demon avatar, if not bigger. I moved to the next floor, the floor based on Sephiroths from LOTM. 10th floor, Brood Hive. The floor is dedicated to LOTM, which is predicted to be Mother Pathway's Sephiroth. Its floor guardian is a monster named Mother. I've based her looks on the glimpses shown to us in LOTM. Area guardians being Ant Queen and her army. 11th floor, Chaos Sea. A floor that I have replicated from LOTM. Upon entering it, I found myself in a forest cloaked by darkness. No magic can be used here to brighten this place. I moved through the forest, it was a maze. Without World's help, I would have been lost. Following her instructions, I arrived at a clearing. Since magic can't be used here to provide light, I had to bring out my lantern. Seeing this, I was reminded of the scene from LOTM, where Klein follows Aemon in the Forsaken Land of God. In the clearing was an old worn-down building, with Chernobyl written on top. After admiring the building for a bit, I pushed open the door and entered the building. The interior was similar to those sci-fi power plants. It was a big plant, and after roaming around a bit, I came to the main door. The door, which would have usually led to the main chamber, where they place the turbine. But here, the door led to the Sephiroth Chaos Sea. The forest is guarded by the monsters, while the factory is guarded by the mindless ones also from Marvel. In the Chaos Sea, rests the floor guardian of this floor, Dormammu, the cosmic entity from Marvel. So, I was stuck on the 12th floor, the City of Calamity. I had no idea what to do with it. Then, I remembered watching Loki and the End of Time Citadel. I thought to myself, why not model this floor after that? I asked World to do just that, and voila! We now have Leviathans and Chitauri guarding the floor. Alioth is on duty to protect the gate leading to the Citadel of the End of Time, and Loki himself serves as the floor guardian. Miss Minutes manages the Citadel. 13th floor, Nation of Disorder. As I was also clueless about this one, I went with Architect from Solo Leveling as the floor guardian for this floor. The floor was more or less similar to the temple which the protagonist of the SL visited with golems. After having looked through every nook and corner of 13 floors, I was getting bored of this now. I can always check it later anyway, let's just directly go to the throne room. Less than if that is what you wish, then I have no problem. Greater than. Are you sure about it? I don't know why, but World's voice just now sent a chill down my spine. Nah, let's check them out. What other task do I have, other than this? I am free till they kill the Muspelheim World Champion. Later I can participate in the next World Champion event and acquire World Champion class in Longinus, after his demise. It's not like I missed the event because of diarrhea. I was after all planning for it all along, right World? Single quote. Less than if you say so, greater than. Right, I was able to distract her for a bit there. Let's continue the journey for now. Next, I traversed through the subsequent floors. Floor 14, Tenebrous World, with its floor guardian Terror Blade from Dota's Dragon Blood and area guardians Akira Fudo from Devilman Crybaby, Leo from I'm Quitting Harrowing and Majin Buu from Dragon Ball Z. Floor 15 is River of Eternal Darkness with its floor guardian Shiroko Terror and area guardians Pale Rider from Fate, Celti from Durarara and Rory Mercury from Gate. Similarly, I finished my tour as fast as possible, with Floor 16 named Atlantis with its floor guardian Nine-Headed Nightmare Hydra from Warlock of the Magus World. Floor 17 is Avalon with its floor guardian, the White Dragon. Floor 18 is called Agartha and its floor guardian Sinbad from an anime called Magi. Floor 19, Aincrad and its floor guardian Ogwe, a giant city with a giant coliseum in the center. The whole city or floor is dedicated towards the gladiator theme. World, can you extract movies from my memory? Less than, yes, greater than. How about Batman vs Superman, the greatest gladiator match in the history of the earth as he called it? I'm sure it will be fun watching it with my NPCs. Less than, why not greater than? Great, let's move on to the next floor. Floor 20, Academy City and its floor guardian Dumbledore from HP. It's a city of magic and those who use similar arts or techniques. A modern city, taken from the infamous Academy City from the anime A Certain Magical Index. Floor 21, Divine Throne, a world created for my amusement and its floor guardian Tiamat, the goddess of Genesis or whatever it is from Fate. Floor 22, the Key of Light, a place for divination and its floor guardian Laplace Demon. Floor 23, Babylon, a place for scientific minds, researches many aspects of magic and weapons artifacts. A place taken from the anime In Another World with my smartphone. Its floor guardian, Galactus from Marvel, a scientist of a bygone universe. Floor 24, Knowledge More, it's the floor guardian Wisdom Tree from Warlock of the Magus World. He is the equivalent of World Tree and the person who knows it all from his verse, though he isn't the strongest. This floor is dedicated to the library of my guild, managed by the great race of Yith. The next floor is where I reside. Floor 25, Arcadia. This floor has a giant city, similar to the other floors. Unlike GTA, every city in my guild has accessible buildings. I walked along the path towards the biggest city of my guild. Located at its center is a giant palace where I reside. The city is built with every facility one could think of. Also, the city has a museum, dedicated to showcasing the history of the guild and its members. There are various facilities like restaurants and shopping centers but not limited to entertainment facilities. After getting a look around at the facilities, I entered the castle. The castle is guarded by the children of Yggdrasil, NPCs created by the world item. 1. Artoria Pendragon. 2. Scathach. 3. Arcude Brunastud. 4. Alice Sao. 5. Enkidu. 6. Jeanne d'Arc. 7. Morgan Le Fay. 8. Raiden Shogun. 9. Arodes. Seeing them, made me proud of myself. Though it wasn't me who made them. It was my guild mates. Next was the butler or the caretaker of the city, Sebastian Michaelis, and the assistant butlers Doraemon and Doremi. After looking over them, it was the maids now. Majuna the head maid and Maids Canyon, a murder drone, Alice von Zelch and OC, Shirori, and Violet Evergarden. I was thinking of adding other maids, but I couldn't think of anyone. Then there are the assassins, their leader King Hassan and 11 other assassins from Fate. You have done a great job, world. I moved to the next floor to check the other places. Floor 26, Magical Realm or Astral Plane, its floor guardian Arceus and area guardians other 54 Pokémons. All of them are max level, making this possibly the most powerful floor. If a player wishes to access the treasury, they have to pass through this floor. Its residents are all starter Pokémons. Floor 27, Null Void. A place with no guardians or residents. It's a place inspired by Ben 10. Floor 28 Saphira Castle, is a place for meeting just like the Tarot Club. The floor was covered with grey fog, and after passing through it, a castle stood. Inside it is a table to hold fools gathering. Just behind my chair at the table, led to the mysterious door covered with tentacles. The castle was managed by NPCs, unknown, Pokemon from Pocket Monster. Beyond the door at the back, leads to the space with a giant book laid open on the floor. It spanned across the whole floor. In its center lay a door, leading inside the book. After I opened it, I could see the endless space spanned in it. I could see the galaxies and the stars in them. Floor 29, Cosmos. The only way to treasury. The guardians, the monsters with the mystical form of various pathways. The mythical forms of the pathways that we know of are 18 pathways. 1. Hanged Man. 2. White Tower. 3. Visionary. 4. Tyrant. 5. Sun. 6. Attendant of Mysteries. 7. Key of Stars. 8. Worm of Time. 9. Demoness. 10. Red Priest. 11. Darkness. 12. Death. 13. Twilight Giant. 14. Moon. 15. Black Emperor. 16. Chained. 17. Hermit. 18. Wheel of Fortune. Floor 30. El Dorado, the treasury of the guild. A golden city guarded by the floor guardian, a giant red eastern dragon, the Dragon Emperor. Golems guard the golden city. Floor 31. Arrow of Time modeled after Beerus planet and castle. The castle houses various divine tier items and world items. It also has many other significant items stored inside it. The Eye of the Blind Idiot God Azathoth was imbued to the guild. I can use it from anywhere in the guild and I can extract it anytime. After checking out everything, I retrieved an artifact from my storage. It would be an artifact to my NPCs and some weird item to these people, but to me, it was a television remote. To teleport between floors in my guild, they need permission from the guild master, without it none can travel between the floors. Even the guild members can only teleport to Arcadia with the ring of the guild. Symbol of guild's membership. With my remote controller, I can teleport to Saphira Castle from the Grand Temple of the End. With the help of remote, I was able to create a portal, or in game terms cast a gate spell. With it, I moved to Saphira Castle, and after reaching there I sat on my seat at the table. A giant long table was placed in a grand and lofty palace hall with towering stone pillars supporting the giant dome on top. The palace looked like that legendary palace from ancient times. The bronze table in the center with 49 high black chairs on either side of the table in a symmetrical arrangement, along with a chair on each of the two ends of the long table. Omnipav. Bruce walked along the table and praised its design. He walked towards his seat. As he walked towards it, he observed the gray fog gathered at the top near the dome and the gray fog that blurred the ground. The leg of chairs and tables were obstructed by the gray fog. He sat on his chair and observed the gray fog. At last, I have completed one major task I had planned. The end. Drop a comment and leave a review. Be it negative or positive, but make sure to give a constructive criticism. Also, if you think you can add anything of value to the FIC, then you are more than welcome to comment. Any thoughts or questions, ask them in the comment section. I'll try to answer them as soon as I can. Have some idea about my story? Comment it and let me know. Like it, add to library. Your gift is the motivation for my creation. Give me more motivation. Creation is hard, cheer me up. Vote for me. Chaotic Void 24 creators, thoughts. 10 comments, 0 vote. 12. World enemy. Hello, this is my first time writing a fanfiction. If you notice any errors, please feel free to give me constructive feedback. English is not my first language, so if you notice any mistakes, please mention them in the comment section at the end of the chapter. Let's begin the story. Word count. 2,700 words. 2 years later, Bruce as usual was seated on his chair in Saphira Castle, as worked on building items in his golem avatar. With his golem of creation and creator of myths, he can even work on world items. For example, he could combine two world items or change their appearance. Just as he was busy working to create a magical carpet, enjoying his time. It was not until his concentration was broken by World's report. Less than fruit of Yggdrasil has been found. Baba Yaga managed to get his hands on it. With Longinus already in possession and Terry's guild, the Muspelheim world champion can turn into enemy any moment greater than. Great news, it has been a bit dull lately. Except for the event from 3 months back, the infamous Avalon event, the fight against the great ancient red dragon resting in Avalon. Other than that, it was boring. Just like before, I swooped in to fight against the dragon before others. Yggdrasil has a habit of awarding players who defeat world enemy or any other boss monster before others. Well, there are times when certain dungeons also reward world items. As he was contemplating about his next action, he laid his eyes on the sword and the lance lying on the table. It's the infamous sword from the land where the sun never sets. Excalibur, the golden sword, and the lance that shines to the end of the world. Bruce had been working to combine them both. The sword, Excalibur, is a world item that he acquired from the Avalon event after defeating the Red Dragon. The lance was a weapon he had created using caloric stones he found and named it Rongominiad. Now in his golem avatar, he retrieved a ring he had placed on top of the table and activated it. Super tier spell, Wish upon a Star. Mikpov 10 minutes later. Now that I have combined them both, it's a very powerful weapon. A sword that can be turned into a lance. This will look good in Artoria's hand. Less than its time greater than. Awaken you, the blind god, that's embarrassing. Let's just see it divination magic, omniscient eye. As he activated the world item, the eye of the blind idiot god Azathoth. His vision blurred for a moment, but was restored within seconds of it. After my vision got clear, I saw dense trees and rocky terrain. Just near the forest, a single player was fighting against 8 players. The fight was in its last phase. According to World, Baba Yaga, the Muspelheim world champion, was in the same guild as those guys, Antares was its name. It wasn't a low-level guild by any standards. It could be considered as one of the strongest, currently, but with Baba Yaga's betrayal the guild got torn down. It is a very strong guild, strong enough to possess Fruit of Yggdrasil and Longinus, 2 of the 20 powerful world items. They also possess 2 other world items Gleipnir. It's a formidable world item against the warriors. Anyone bound by loses their physical strength stats till untied. Obviously, players who possess world items are exempted from its effect. Another is Dropnir, a ring that multiplies the number of coins received by 8 times. Also, it produces gold coins every day. Negative, it only multiplies coins or in-game money and not magical items or other loot. A good guild, but lost in the fable of history due to betrayal. Could have surpassed World Searchers and Trinity Alliance and claimed their first position. Now, they are on the verge of destruction. After all, their strongest member betrayed them. Surprisingly, Baba Yaga wasn't the guild master. I have no idea as to why he betrayed, nor do I have any interest in finding out. All that's left is claiming the Longinus, Dropnir, Gleipnir, Fruit of Yggdrasil and World Champion class. This is it. Just as I was thinking about it, their fight had reached the end. Baba Yaga, a world enemy and world champion, had managed to defeat 30 players all by himself. Omnipav. Now their guild master had come to the playing field. He stood in front of Baba Yaga, sensing the impending doom. He retrieved a spear from his inventory. Seeing the spear, Baba Yaga stepped back. The Gleipnir fell to the ground. For he knew it was the end. Seeing Longinus being brought out, he zoomed in to finish off his ex-team mates before they activated it. In his rush, he managed to slay a player holding Gleipnir. As a world enemy and world champion, he still wouldn't be immune to world items, as he is still a player. He was able to counter Gleipnir with Dropnir on him. Usually, world enemies are immune against Gleipnir and Longinus, but not him. For he still has not broken the level cap. There exists no level cap for world enemies. Alas, he was late. The Longinus had been activated. Both players received a notification, stating such. Look what you have done now. I know, but you started it. I wouldn't have done it, if you hadn't said yes to her. What should have I done? I didn't know you liked her, and even you should know that I liked her for a while now. But you only met her in high school. I've been with her since childhood. She had even promised to marry me when we were kids. That's it, you were kids. But a promise is a promise. Like I care, she likes me and I like her. You can FCK yourself. I used to call you brother, look what you have done. Everything is fair in love and war. But, both of them sighed at the same time. Baba Yaga had kneeled on the ground. Do you know the amount of money I have spent on this game and the time? I am not as rich as you. I am sure of it, she chose you because of your looks and money. Like it's going to change anything. It's your fate to be born poor. What? How could you? While they waited for their imminent demise, they both had given up now. The last punch from Baba Yaga to the ground was felt by everyone present. It was a punch from a world champion and world enemy, after all. They both received another notification informing them of the result. While waiting for their character to be deleted, both of them noticed an unread notification silently sitting on top of their console. You are being watched. Just as they read the notification after it was marked as read, they noticed a giant eyeball in the sky, silently watching them. Which wasn't there before they read the notification. After all, how could they have failed to notice such an eye-catching sight? It was the last thing they saw before they were brought to the home screen of Yggdrasil and were logged out of their account. They tried logging in but were unable to. Mikpav. So it was love that led to his betrayal. After they disappeared, I turned into my dragon avatar, my 7th avatar. I haven't been sitting idle this whole time, I have unlocked 2 more avatars. 7th is dragon and 8th is human. As for my last avatar, I could have unlocked it before, but I was waiting for this moment. Using greater teleportation, I arrived at the fight scene. The players were dumbfounded by the strongest member of the guild and their guild master. They couldn't have thought of the reason for their guild's doom in their entire life. Only 6 remained. Seeing my arrival, they got into formation. Skill, the Dragon Emperor roar. I was in my humanoid form. With my skill, which is similar to Cry of Banshee, but more powerful. They were petrified for 10 seconds. Plus the damage they received. Skill, the Draconic Flame. The skill created a small orb of fire, power equivalent to 5 times meteor fall and 11 times as strong as nuclear blast. All of them were on low HP to begin with both skills, I was able to take care of them. With this, I have Gleipnir and Draupnir which were lying on the ground. With my fight over here, it was time to attack those guys. There was another guild lying in wait to get their hands on Longinus. Seraphim, and they were even kind enough to bring World Savior with them. I am not sure how its knowledge was leaked in the original world, but here I am sure of it. It will remain a mystery. It was a full-on war, the Root versus Seraphim. I didn't move first, it was them who decided to attack me for the world items. Sadly for them, I had the Fire Dragon's Heart, Sword of Ra, Gleipnir and the NPCs aka the Children of Yggdrasil with my guildmates. They even brought out World Savior, it was a massacre. If I hadn't turned into Demon Avatar in the middle for more devastating spells like Grand Catastrophe, the result could have varied. Sadly I wasn't able to cast Sol Nirvana, it was akin to revealing worlds tampering. In the end, we won. After this, with World's instructions I spent the next month hunting world items like Fruit of Yggdrasil, Longinus and World Savior. 1 year later, Bruce was as usual in Saphira Castle, bringing his imagination to reality, creating items. This time it was Cloak of Invisibility. Let's do it. When suddenly, he stopped his hands. On the table was armor, red in color. In Yggdrasil, it was called Powered Suit. Ever since powered suits were released in the game for new players, Bruce had bought every variety of it. He had also busied himself to customize it to look like Iron Man suits and those mechas from his old world. The game would be 6 years old after a couple of months. In the past year, a lot of things have happened. Bruce was able to start the year by getting his hands on Gungnir, the Spear of Odin from yet another unfortunate guild. Sword of Freyr, a sword that can fight on its own. Levadein, a staff. Its world item specializing in illusion and trap settings. Achilles' shield is yet another world item for my collection. Other than Gleipnir, Draupnir, Fruit of Yggdrasil, Longinus, World Savior, Standard of Conqueror, Relic of Another World, Jewel of Souls, Spring of Calamity, the Hex of the Slight Goddess, Key to Glory, Call of Abyss, Ahura Mazda. He had collected quite a lot of world items. Standard of Conqueror is a flag world item. When used, the user could summon an army of soldiers. Relic of Another World is yet another item inspired by those mecha games. XXX, the parent company of Yggdrasil, were planning on building a mecha game, as it rose to popularity but refrained as they couldn't allocate more resources to another game, while their prior game is still in popularity. It's a giant mecha, with many sci-fi weapons on it. Plus it can also be converted into a siege weapon, a heavy blaster for more damage. Jewel of Souls is a world item that lets the user use summoning magic or skills without any cost, with the limitation of maximum summoning being level 900 per day. Spring of the Hex of Slight Goddess is a miniature statue of a beautiful faced goddess holding a jar and pouring black liquid into a vessel. The item has the appearance of a fountain. It's an item that, when activated, releases negative energy and miasma into the world. Given time, it can span the entire world. All those without instant death protection will perish, and those with instant death resistance will have a curse inflicted on them with constant damage, poison and acid damage. When activated, a purplish fog is released from it and shall cover the whole world unless stopped. Once the fog has managed to reach the end of the world, the goddess shall appear to collect the souls. The goddess though has a beautiful face, her body is very hideous. Key to Glory, a world item shaped as a key. A large, golden key is ornated like a gilded skeletal hand. Its power is to be a skeleton key for everything that is locked in Yggdrasil. It also has a compass-like ability, visualized as the key glowing brighter when it's pointed in the right direction, to guide its holder through the safest route in an unmapped location. Its unlocking ability extends to include magical barriers, and it can unlock things like the isolation effects of Ouroboros. Call of Abyss or Apocalypse Bringer, is a world item when activated can summon a legion of demons till the user is killed and ownership of the item is transferred. It's a superior version of Armageddon Evil, a 10th tier spell. Ahura Mazda is capable of inflicting a massively powerful area of effects on targets with a negative karma value across the entire world. And lastly, the Ravens of Knowledge. A monocle with a twin raven design on its sides. Designed as a telescope but as a monocle that reads the lore stats and character sheet of the players, monsters, NPCs and items. Aside from the world items, Bruce also participated in the World Champion event of Muspelheim this time. He played in the competition using his giant avatar from start to finish. Not only did Bruce manage to win the tournament and get himself the World Champion class, he also won the championship tournament hosted for World Champions. Becoming World Champion Muspelheim granted him access to a weapon from the devs. He asked them to make an orb similar to Microbots from Big Hero 6. He asked them to make it so that it is capable of dividing or splitting itself infinitely. Which was rejected, but he compromised, thinking about asking World to make it happen at a later time. With the ability to turn into anything. They did create it, without the infinity part. As for becoming the champion of Yggdrasil, he was awarded a special class and a sword and shield with full body armor. After picking up World Savior and Fruit of Yggdrasil, he teleported to Null Void. After teleporting, he started the ritual to unlock his next avatar. Do It World. In Ain's Ulgaun, Tabula had managed to exploit a loophole to build his NPC Rubedo with a world item. Bruce had decided to do just that, but here, he wished to use World Savior for his 9th avatar or 10th form. He moved ahead and consumed Fruit of Yggdrasil and used World Savior on himself. At first, he had planned to use Longinus, but with World Savior and World Enemy combined, Longinus will turn ineffective against him. The year 2132, another world enemy was born. The Fruit of Yggdrasil, when used, allows a player to replace one world enemy. After consumption, GM will contact you asking for your choice. But the player should have already fought against the said world enemy. Right after consumption, the player's stats are increased, then the player can again challenge any world enemy from his past and replace him. He had a wide variety of options to choose from, but he asked whether he could choose any of the event boss. Devs informed him that he is allowed to choose any boss monster or event boss with world enemy class. It was obvious who he was going to pick. My final avatar are going by the sequence, it's sequence 0. The god Apotheosis or Ascension. So my choice is simple. I choose you, Cthulhu. The end. Drop a comment and leave a review. Be it negative or positive, but make sure to give a constructive criticism. Also, if you think you can add anything of value to the FIC, then you are more than welcome to comment. Any thoughts or questions, ask them in the comment section. I'll try to answer them as soon as I can. Have some idea about my story? Comment it and let me know. Like it, add to library. Your gift is the motivation for my creation. Give me more motivation. Creation is hard, cheer me up. Vote for me. Chaotic Void 24 creators, thoughts. 11 comments, 0 vote. 13. The World Alliance. Hello, this is my first time writing a fanfiction. If you notice any errors, please feel free to give me constructive feedback. English is not my first language, so if you notice any mistakes, please mention them in the comment section at the end of the chapter. Let's begin the story. Word count. 3,900 words. Note, just a reminder that I've changed the Guild Auxiliary chapter. I've made some changes in it. I've removed a couple of NPCs and added Omnipav. Bruce stood in the Null Void in his sequence 0 or 9th and the final avatar of his class. Admiring his form, Vantablack, body with a violet outline marking his body, separating it from getting integrated with nothingness. Making his presence known to the world. The violet-colored hue defined his body structure, his knuckles, ankle, elbow, shoulder, fingers, wrist, knee, foot, spinal cord, etc. Though they shaped his body and defined his parts, he had none of the parts mentioned. It was just his body that was shaped to be the way it was. A lean body of fighters. Cyan blue-colored pixelated cloth wrapped around his waist. Bruce had turned the appearance of the armor he got from defeating all world champions into the cloth that he had wrapped around his waist. With 2 white star-like eyes on his face. This is great. Side story. Kendo was a normal guy in high school. It would have stayed normal if not for his childhood crush falling in love with their mutual friend from high school. Which led to him betraying his guild in Yggdrasil. He and his friend, whom he thought of as a brother, had started a guild in the game. While his friend was the guild master, Kendo was the vice guild leader. Both of them had achieved a lot of things, but the person he thought of as a friend in a week took away both of the important things from his life, the things he considered as precious. He was devastated. Yggdrasil was his solace after losing his love, but even that was snatched from him. He was lost. He tried contacting Yggdrasil support and staff, but all of them turned him down. Just as usual, he was seated on his chair connected to his console trying to log in. He had made it his habit to check his emails, to find replies from them. Alas, he hasn't received any so far. To cope with it, he started a new account using his different ID. But still hadn't given up on his old account. It didn't help him that his friend and his crush were happily living their life. It infuriated him. Today, as usual, he checked his mail, to find a new mail he had received. He was disappointed to find it from someone else. Since he had opened it, he thought of reading it anyway. Mr. Sato Kendo, closing square bracket. He couldn't control his expression. Tears filled his eyes. It was an invitation from Wayne Corp. God hasn't forsaken me. His clip of fighting against 30 players had reached them and they were inviting him to join their company. As a gamer sponsored by them, they were also hiring him to work as an alpha tester, with the prospect of working for their game development sector after his graduation, if he were to meet their requirements. It's my chance, but isn't Gotham in America? That is quite far from here. No, this is better. The further away I am from here the better. I can join them after high school. It's great that they are also offering to cover my college, but I will have to move there. Since I am in my final year now, it won't be long. He was having a headache thinking about the prospect of his future. Things are moving too fast. I have 4 more months before I finish my high school. Then I will have to move to America for my college. Wait, nothing is fixed yet. I don't even know if this is legit. Wait, at last, it was mentioned that one of the heads in charge of this department had been nearby when the fight took place and had watched it all and even recorded it. They had been playing the game to pass the time. That explains it. But I'm not sure about game development. I've played games till now but haven't made any games. Wait. I did make a small game a long time back. It was a simple space battleship game, where we just shoot down alien battleships. I should contact the company to confirm the legitimacy of this mail. He was happy. I can't wait to tell Mom and Dad about it. He sprinted from his place after logging out from his console but stopped midway from opening his room door. I shouldn't worry about her. He got on his knees. Tears were running down his face. Yggdrasil 3 months after Bruce becomes a world enemy. It had been a couple of years since Yggdrasil had launched, its golden age was slowly coming to an end. It wasn't imminent but still the process was slow. Currently unknown to Bruce, major changes were taking place in the game. Many players who were portrayed as villains in Bruce's story were portraying him as such in their story. They had taken it to the internet to complain. They were being petty, though they were the ones to attack first to rob him of his precious weapons. Seeing him all alone with expensive gear, motivated them to attack. A heteromorphic race player roaming alone was asking to be attacked, according to them. But when the heteromorphic player when attacked, retaliated. It was not acceptable to many. They couldn't accept the fact. Him calling his friends and guildmates was something unacceptable to them. They complained about him acting as bait to hunt them. They complained about him cheating them. Some people are oblivious to their situations. They complain when things don't go their way and when they are on the receiving end of cruelty but are happy when they are the ones inflicting harm. Bruce had received a lot of animosities, especially from the guilds from whom he had so generously received world items. Though they didn't know a lot about him, when they reached out to the forum to vent their anger, a lot of them found companions who had been through similar situations. The most infamous alliances that Bruce knew from the novel, like 2 Chainz Alliance and Trinity, had few skirmishes. 2 Chainz in one of the wars even had their headquarters destroyed. After which their members declined. At one point of time in the game, they boasted of having the highest number of players, as many as 3,000. With great numbers comes less flexibility and difficulty in compliance. Trinity, one of the major guilds, had faced a similar situation to theirs but was still standing above them, followed by World Searcher and 2 Chainz Alliance. Many new guilds were born from them. The players who found companions online got to work to find the guy who stole their world items. They were successful in it. It took them almost a year to find him. In the meantime, the 8 Guild Alliance had also raided Ains Ulgaun and a record had been set. Ains Ulgaun has successfully managed to defend against a horde of 1,500, comprising of players and NPCs. Most players had given up on going back, after losing their prominent weapons and items in the raid. Their hunger for revenge had died down. When they couldn't beat them with 1,500 of them, then what use is it to attack again when most of them had given up on the cause? But the same couldn't be said about the others. The self-proclaimed victim of Bruce's rampage. Many had united under the same banner to bring justice to Lord of the Mysteries. An alliance had been formed of many guilds. Many were partaking in the raid against Lord of the Mysteries to quench their thirst for revenge. While most of them had united to get their hands on the world items in his possession. They had heard a lot of stories about how Lord of the Mysteries had snatched world items, and there were even stories of him spending a fortune to fight against raid bosses all alone. The fact that he emerged victorious was shocking to most. They couldn't fathom the amount Lord of the Mysteries had spent to get his win. An alliance called the World Alliance had been formed, and major guilds from Asgard, Alfheim, Midgard, Jotunheim and some small guilds from other worlds had banded together. Most had learned their lesson from Ains Ulgaun, especially now that they are attacking a man who has no problem throwing money around to get things done. Plus they knew of the strongest world champion being in the same guild as him. They were prepared for a difficult raid to come. Banding together to attack a guild was not uncommon, but most of the time the rewards weren't worth it. According to their information network, Ains Ulgaun houses 2 world items or possibly more. At the same time, the Root, Lord of the Mysteries' guild houses more than a dozen world items. Which is confirmed by many players online. The rewards they could reap in their distribution among all the guilds participating in the raid and still earn a great haul themselves. According to their estimation, he has nearly 15 to 16 world items. With this raid, many guilds could get their hands on world items. So the choice was simple, they had set their sights on the Root rather than Ains Ulgaun. All of the discussion regarding the raid was taking place in private forums. Many new guilds also joined the raid to get many divinity or weapons and other items he has. The World Alliance were ready for the raid. They had managed to form a 3,672-player alliance. With 41 guilds banding together with their animus towards him. Counting NPCs, the raiding party had surpassed 4,700 strong. Ains Ulgaun. The members of Ains Ulgaun are still playing the game at present. It wasn't until a year later that most of them decreased the number of times they used to log into the game until they stopped altogether. Currently, the members have gathered in the conference room of the guild. Not a lot of their guild members were present in the room. With Momonga, Touch Me, Warrior Takemikazuchi, Harohiro, Albert Alan Odal, Tabula Smaragdina, Blue Planet and Ancient One occupying the seats at the table. They were busy discussing about future. Warrior Takemikazuchi grabbed everyone's attention by mentioning a new dungeon he had found. "Where did you find this dungeon?" asked Touch Me. "I was out trying to gather materials to make a worthy weapon for my NPCs when I found it." "Doesn't Cocytus already have a good weapon?" asked Momonga. He was confused. So were most of them. Cocytus, the floor guardian of the 5th floor of Nazarick, was a strong warrior. He already had a strong divinity weapon. To make yet another strong weapon of its caliber is a difficult task, and here Takemikazuchi was planning on building a stronger one. "I wish to build him a katana just like the one I use. He already has a halberd as his main weapon, and having spare weapons in emergencies will help him in fighting against intruders. In the last raid, he had to face multiple opponents simultaneously. This will help him in duel wielding. We can't forget the Alliance raid. Cocytus faced difficulty killing them. With more choice of weapons, he could have taken out more of them." "That's reasonable, so a katana, huh? That's what I have planned." Touch Me. As they thought about it, they were glad of their luck to have survived. Harohiro, seeing everyone agree with Takemikazuchi, shared his experience. "We were lucky to have survived the raid. Seeing the numbers, I was afraid of our guild falling. Yes, we were able to pull through with Touch Me and Albert San's amazing interference with the enemy from time to time." "That's true, without them we could have lost our guild." "Momonga's right. That's my duty. As a member of Ains Ulgaun, I must protect it." Even Momonga handled it as a pro. Yes, but as a guild master of Ain's Ul Gown, how could I let it fall so easily? We have built it with our virtual tears and sweat. We can't let it fall so easily. The recollection of the battle brought a smile to everyone's face. Though they couldn't express it with their avatar, but they did show it with emojis. They heard the sound of laughter. Haha, Ulbert with his laugh attracted everyone's attention. Those foolish people didn't know anything. How could they take over our guild? This guild is our temple of evil. They were truly ignorant if they thought they could take over it, right Momonga? Yes, Ulbert-san, Ancient One, who had been silent till now, followed along with a question to Takemikazuchi to further their conversation. Takemikazuchi-san, so where is this dungeon? Ah, Ancient One, it's in Muspelsheim. So Muspelsheim it is. We can gather everyone later and plan our conquest towards the dungeon as soon as possible. We can't let others take it over, said Blue Planet. So let's wait till we can hear what everyone has to say about it. Yes, silence. When they thought about it, they didn't have anything else to do now. Even their talk about raid and other things had come to an end. Seeing the awkward silence, Haruhiro asked a question that had intrigued him since the raid. I have been meaning to ask, Tabula, how come your NPC Rubedo is so strong? Her strength is unparalleled in our guild. Seeing her fight, I am sure of it. She might be even stronger than Touch Me. You're right, I have seen her fight. She is strong. Well, you may be right about her being stronger than me. So what did you do, Tabula? Touch Me and Haruhiro. They were getting sidetracked again. Ancient One had wished to discuss more about the dungeon but wasn't able to bring it up again. He had missed his chance and Haruhiro had taken over the conversation. He had been thinking about his work, which he remembered after hearing Blue Planet talk about it to Momonga. He got distracted from the conversation and had the chance to take it over. He had been busy lately, which is why he wished to complete the dungeon conquest as soon as possible. As per his estimate, this workload wouldn't be decreasing anytime soon, rather it would even increase more with time. Now the topic being spoken was something even he had been wondering. It's not something that I wished to hide. But I don't wish for this information to get outside our guild. There is nothing for you to worry about. All of us have been in this guild for a very long time now. Everyone is loyal to the guild. Momonga is right, we are all in this together. Why would we even think of betraying the guild? So everyone chipped in. They had been curious about it for some time now. Especially Momonga had been curious about it. I have used a world item when building her. No sooner had the words left his mouth, Momonga countered him. But that's impossible. You can't use world item to build NPCs. Neither can you build any items using world items, I think. As he continued, he wasn't as confident as he was when spoke at the beginning. By the end he grew doubtful of his own understanding of the game. Right, everyone at the table agreed. Yes, I know that. When building her, I found a loophole. We really are a menace to the world, aren't we? Now we have an NPC who is as powerful as world items. You may be right, Tabula, if you don't mind I would love to battle her. Even I would like to fight her after him. It's fine, I don't mind. Touch Me can fight her after Takemikazuchi. Ancient One, just as he was trying to lead them to talk about the dungeon. The door to the conference room was swung open. Everyone paused their discussion to look at the rude intruder. Pero Roncino, after hearing about it, had right away made his way to the game and his guild. Fortunately, he found many of his friends including their guild master, Momonga. What is it, Pero Roncino? Just wait a minute. Without answering anyone, he made his way to his seat at the table. After getting seated, he kept his silence. Others tried asking him about it but to no avail. All he said was, wait for a bit. Just as they were waiting for him to speak, another one of their guild member Bukubuku Chigama entered the conference room. Seeing her, they connected the dots. So you were waiting for her. What is it, Pero Roncino? It better be important. I had to leave my practice to come here. Seeing her fuming with anger, the rest decided to leave the two siblings alone. Right, since you have all gathered here, I would like to share an important piece of information I got to know from one of my online friends. What is it? They wished to ask, but still the rest were maintaining their silence. To not interrupt their quarrel. Something big is going to happen in Muspelsheim. What? It better not be another one of your pedo gathering also. Who is this online friend of yours? Is it one from your fetish forum? Though he wished to point it out to her about herself but refrained from doing so. He couldn't wait to share the news with his guild. If he were to go down that path, the fight would have prolonged till the end. Everyone had the freedom to love what they love. Also, that's not important right now. Our fight, the raid on our guild, was the biggest thing in the gaming industry and in this game specifically. But that record is going to be broken now. What? Momonga was confused now. At first, he had assumed it to be something related to his interests like a dungeon or an event. But now, listen carefully, Lord of the Mysteries from the root has made a lot of enemies. Some of them are from major guilds. Also, it was revealed in the forum that, the root, his guild has 16 or more world items. What? That's crazy. If we can beat them, then all those items would be ours. Dream on. We are a small guild. Do you think we can conquer Seraphim, much less the root? Can't a girl dream? Fine, so let's go. We will conquer the root. But no one knows where the base of the root is. So they bantered. You can't underestimate them. They are ranked at the top and have maintained that position for a long time now. Even Trinity and 2 Chainz Alliance, boasting more power than us, have failed to do anything against them. It's the root followed by Trinity, World Searcher and 2 Chainz Alliance in guild ranking. We are a strong guild within the confines of our guild. We can defend against most attacks, but attacking or picking a fight outside is a bit foolish thing to do. Especially if it's in another guild base with just the 41 of us. We can't fight 41 vs 100 hardcore players. Not to forget, they also have a world champion in their guild, and not just any world champion, but the strongest one. The world champion of Muspelheim. True, but that's not the end of it. According to my friend, an alliance has been formed. It's being led by Trinity, with many new guilds. Some of them were members of 2 Chainz Alliance, and even a few of the 8 Guild Alliance have joined in. Major guilds from Asgard, Alfheim, Midgard and Jotunheim have joined together to raid his guild. With more than 3,600 players and raid strength totaling more than 4,700 players and NPCs. Impossible. How could they even fit that many players into a guild? They are opting for a war approach to this raid. They have learned their lesson fighting him and his guild in many guild wars they have been a part of. From what I know, Lord of the Mysteries alone has managed to defeat a dozen of players with just his pure skills. His guild's world champion Tokastar defeated many players with his swordsmanship. It is said that he is a sword and hand-to-hand combat master in real life. I was defeated before I knew what happened. The way he moved and dodged my attacks was amazing. It's no wonder that he was able to defeat the rest to win the tournament of Yggdrasil, said Touch Me. Isn't this interesting? You can't complain to me now of disturbing your practice. So should we check out the fight? I am interested in it. Starting with Takumi Kazuchi, many of them responded. They were thinking of checking out the fight, but Touch Me saw Momonga in a contemplative state, so he asked him. Is something bothering you, Momonga? It's not anything major, but aren't all those guilds of humans and demi-humans? If we were to walk in there, the chances of us getting killed are high. We know, Momonga, that's why we're planning to watch it from afar. Wouldn't they have measures to counter divination? Watching from far means to watch from a safe distance. Not divination. Yes, we wouldn't be able to watch the main fights inside the guild, but the sheer size of the participants participating in this raid camping outside the route will be incredible to watch. It might be the last time we may see the guild. A guild like the root isn't your average guild. To see it fall is also a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You may never know if there will ever be such a big alliance of players again. True, but don't they have World Searcher as their allies? If they were to participate, the root would have more breathing space to defend. Yes, don't you think we should help our fellow heteromorphic guild? Well, they aren't exactly a heteromorphic guild. They sure have more heteromorphic players, but they aren't one. I don't have any idea what the requirement to join the guild was. It has had 100 players since the very beginning. There never was an empty seat. Yes, but Pero Roncino, how are we supposed to watch the fight? We don't have the skills you have to spectate as an archer and a birdman. You aren't trying to take us along as bodyguards, are you? I would never. The end. Drop a comment and leave a review. Be it negative or positive, but make sure to give a constructive criticism. Also, if you think you can add anything of value to the FIC, then you are more than welcome to comment. Any thoughts or questions, ask them in the comment section. I'll try to answer them as soon as I can. Like it, add to library, have some idea about my story. Comment it and let me know. Creation is hard, cheer me up. Vote for me. Your gift is the motivation for my creation. Give me more motivation. Chaotic Void 24 creators, thoughts.